Sorry, folks, and that is my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from higher top Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour, that's right, 2-hour weekly get together where we give you all the best of the world's most, oh my God, where we give you the best of today's music and sports news. Sorry, guys, it's been a while. 3 weeks to be exact. I hope your holidays were great. I hope your New Year's is off to a great start. And I look forward to getting back on. There's a lot to talk about. Obviously, most of it's in the football world. So if you're here looking for a lot of baseball, if you're here looking for a lot of music news, you ain't going to get it. There's no music news out there at the moment that I found. And there's very little in the world of baseball that matters here in New York. The Mets and the Yankees have both kind of been idle and quiet, small moves here and there. I think it's going to start heating up this month now. Obviously, with spring training next month, it's going to be interesting to see. But right now, baseball's kind of, in the hiatus. But you got a lot of football news. We got playoffs this weekend. That's right. We do have playoffs this weekend. We have anyway. We have you got 2 college games today and tomorrow. That's great. Looking forward to those games. But the NFL, you got 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday night. The Monday night playoff game is an oddity to me. I look forward to it. It's a good game. I believe that game is Pittsburgh and the Texans, which should be a very good football game, possibly. Now, I honestly believe that there's a chance that could be a blowout, and I believe the Steelers would be the team getting blown out. I think that Texan defense is really, really good, and the Steelers are a good team, but they are not a great team, and I don't think they're great on either side of the football. They can win, but I expect a good game. We'll go through the games in a little while with Jeff and all of you, as a matter of fact, but I hope right now you guys have had a great couple of weeks. And I look forward to a couple hours. I'm going to stall a little bit till Jeff gets on. We'll get my pops on. The weather this is it's balmy, as they say here, for this time of year in New York City and New Jersey and this area. So please enjoy it while it lasts. We had a rough week, I guess, between Christmas and New Year's, and that was a little cold. I got out of town. I just ran out of town as fast as I could. I also want to offer our condolences to a friend of ours, Gary Barbario, whose pops passed away. I haven't seen his pops in a very long time, but he was always very nice to me. He's always a very nice man, and you hate to lose another good one. And a big Ranger fan, and a great showing last night for people showing up to pay their respects to Gary and Gina and the family. So I want to just take a second and say, offer our sincere condolences to both them and the entire family. And I want to commend also Gary. I think that was Gary's son. And of course, Gary, who both got up there and made really incredible speeches about Joe. And I really commend them. That's very hard to do. So, again, and a great showing to all the people who came to pay their respects. I think it's amazing that today people still make the effort. People's lives are so crazy now. Years ago, it was almost like you had to go. Like it was like, now it's people have so many things to do, and everybody's social media is in the way, and jobs, and, people just don't make time anymore. It was nice to look around there and see that the family was well supported. And it was nice to run into a few people, get to see a few people I haven't seen, and it's nice. It's nice to see them. It's unfortunate that has to be there, but again, our condolences to the Barbario family, and we will keep Mr. Barbario in our prayers. All right. So, having said that, let's get on to the show a little bit, guys. Really up and down. I mean, there's 7, 8 teams now looking for a coach. You got the Dolphins all of a sudden. You got the Browns, the Raiders, the Giants, the Titans, the Ravens, the Cardinals, and the Falcons, all looking for head coaches. The usual cast of suspects are out there usually, but there's some interesting ones. John Harbaugh just joined the mix. You got Stefanski, not surprised. Do you think do people find him? McCarthy's out there. Antonio Pierce is a name that's been floating around there. Of course, there's a bunch of the OCs and DCs out there that people are interested in. This is an interesting time for the Giants and for a lot of teams. I want to speculate on the Dolphins and all of that. I want to talk about, people say the Giants should have tanked, losing. The Giants lost, won those games, but they lost. Guys, tell me if you ever found out that any team in the NFL, if you would have found out that the Giants tanked the last 2 games of the season to get the number 1 pick, there would be out and out outrage in the NFL. Betting games, all of that stuff, people would have lost their minds. The Giants go out there, they play their asses off, and they win the game, and people are outraged by it. That's what football players do. And guys, let's understand something. These teams nowadays don't stay together. The coach knows he ain't getting the job there. So what's he trying to do? He's trying to build a resume of some sort to get his next job, whether it's as a head coach or an offensive coordinator. Okay? The players on the roster, how many of them are actually going to be back next year? And if they are back under a new regime, do they want it on the film that they played like shit in the last couple games? What would you have expected the Giants to do? I was thrilled and happy, and it was great to watch 2 football games that the Giants won. I don't care who they beat. I don't care how they beat them. It's nice to win football games. It was 2 good weeks in a row. And if the Giants pick 2 or 5, great. There's no guarantee at 2 that they would have picked somebody that would have been the best player in the draft. How many number 1 picks have made it? And on the team that drafted them, guys, lay off that shit. Anybody who says to me the Giants should have tanked, the Giants should have tried to lose, I think that's disgusting. And anybody a part of that, including the Giant management, ownership, whatever, they should be banned from the NFL. That's how I feel. You go out there and you win the games, and you don't worry about you picking 2 or 5. You're still going to get a great player. You're still going to get a guy, if you pick right, who's going to change your team next year, and that's how you look at it. And you've now enthused the people on your roster. You gave some rookies that, wow, we won some games. And it made, you know what? For 2 weeks, your fan base should have been happy to go home with a smile on their face beating the Raiders and the Cowboys. That's the bottom line. And we'll talk more about it. I'm sure Jeff probably has a different opinion of that. But for me, there should be no questions asked. The Giants, no team should tank. The last time I remember it was, I think in 20, the Eagles had a chance to win a game that would have got the Giants into the playoffs, and they tanked the game. They pulled their quarterback. They didn't play players, and they wound up losing, and people were outraged. So don't tell me now that the Giants should have done it to get a better draft pick. I'm not being phony. The Giants played. I wanted them to win. I wanted them to play the game hard. If they lost, they lost. It would have been par for the course. But they went out there, and they beat 2 teams, and I was happy with it. Enough said. Jeff, let's get Jeff on the phone, get the show going on again. Hard Rocket Sports, we're back after a 3-week layoff. We appreciate everybody here. We got lots of NFL football. We got coaching changes. We got the dead list. I hate calling it that, but that's what it is. Every year, Jeff reads out the list of celebrities. And this year, who passed away during the year of 2025. And this year, there's a bunch of iconic ones out there. So as long as we haven't wound up on the list, I guess it is what it is at this point. So without further ado, let's bring on my partner in crime. We also got a big announcement for the Hard Rocket Sports Band. We'll do that tonight. So sit tight, sit back, enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in. I agree, Frankie. Tanking is a losing attitude, and I don't want it. Let's get the show kicked off the only way I know how to do it. That's by bringing on my buddy, the sexiest man on his side of the screen, Mr. Jeff Towinski. F.A.
What's up, man? I have, oh, man, I don't know what's going on here.
What's up?
No, I'm not going to be able to see what Frankie says or anybody else says.
Oh, really?
I'm using my iPad tonight. I believe my laptop is passing away.
Well, Frankie basically just said tanking is a losing attitude. So he was just basically, I guess, agreeing with me that teams should not tank. But, yeah, before we get into any football, and there's a ton of it tonight, and like I said earlier to everybody else, other than your dead list, anything else you might pop up with, we got the elite quarterbacks as per some list, which I think is a ridiculous list of quarterbacks. I mean, it might be the dumbest list we've ever put on the show.
Yeah, that's why we got to go over it, man.
Yeah, so we'll get that up tonight. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about, we have the dead list. We've got NFL coaching changes. We got Jets and Giants end of season. We got NFL playoffs. There's a lot to get to. We're going to get right into it. We'll get Jeff's early take. We'll get my dad on, and then it's 2 hours of NFL talk. So sit back. Jeff, how was your week?
It was a long week. Back to work. God, I fucking hate life. But it is what it is.
I understand.
You know, I don't want to get too involved with things now.
Okay.
Because God forbid, I don't want to set this motherfucker off because I can't see what he's saying.
Okay.
That Frank Catalano.
Well,
but I got a bone to pick with him.
Go ahead, give it to him. I'll transcribe it back to you. Go ahead.
Well, you sure?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, he knows.
He knows.
Broncos fan.
Now, does this have anything to do with him beating you in the fantasy league? Is this his?
I can't even check on the fantasy league anymore because my fucking laptop is over here. I think it just coughed.
He says, "Love you, buddy." That's what he said.
Yeah, that's the sad part of it. I can't get mad at this guy.
Nope.
And there's times where, Frank, I say things to you sometimes just for the sake of saying shit to you to piss you off, and it's great because it works. And I know when he gets pissed off, it's great.
Yeah. Hey, Will Cloak.
What's up, Will Cloak? But it's that time of year where I'm sorry, I just don't want to see anybody else who has a fan in the NFL be happy at this point in time.
I understand it. Now the Broncos, they've had a great season. I've gone on a really nice run, and they got a nice bye. They have the first round bye. They home field. And listen, the Super Bowl in the AFC goes through Denver.
Well, we that remains to be seen. We will see what happens. Right now, they're the number one seed, but listen, the mighty have fallen it from time to time.
Oh yeah,
and we will see what goes on. Right now, they're in a good position. Does that mean that they're going to go to the Super Bowl? One never knows. But you got to earn your way in. This is the NFL. The only thing that I will say is this, aren't they like on a 9-game winning streak?
I think they are on a 9-game winning streak. Let's see. Hold
on. That's a lot, man. I don't know. A 9-game winning streak.
No, they're a 2-game winning streak right now. They must have lost a game. Yeah, they won 2 games in a row. They must have lost a game in there somewhere. So
okay. Well, listen, hopefully for their sake.
Yeah, they lost to the Jaguars. Frankie's asking if I would be happy for him if they win it all. Yeah, Frank,
here we go.
I would not have a problem with there are certain teams I don't want to win. Like the Ravens, I never want the Ravens to win. The 49ers.
I know why he's asking you that problem. That's a veiled question, by the way.
Is it what? Why? It was a loaded question?
Well, no, it's not a loaded question. A veiled question. There's more to it than that. And he knows what it's all about. Don't you, Frank?
Will Cloak. That's another question I want to get to tonight. So the new Bears Stadium, I believe, is in Indiana. They're moving out of Illinois into Indiana.
There's a couple teams that are moving.
Kansas City is moving to Kansas.
Yeah.
Being in Missouri now, they'll be in Kansas. So they'll be the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas. My initial reaction to that is, well, how could that be? Then you realize, well, the New York Giants and New York Jets play in New Jersey. The Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington. The Washington Redskins play in, I think, Virginia. So, it happens everywhere.
Yes, but here's the thing. Just asking a question. I don't know, so I'm asking. That's okay. You're holding it upside down, so that makes it even better yet. I shouldn't have said anything.
Because there's 2 sides of the book.
Yeah. So. Is that like a metropolitan area like New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey? Do you know? I mean, I don't expect you to know off, but
which one are you talking about? The new Chicago stadium?
Yeah, like Chicago, Indianapolis. Is it something where the team has moved like less than 100 miles away, like 50 miles away or something? Same thing with Kansas.
Yeah,
Kansas City. I mean, for years I thought that Kansas City was Kansas City, Kansas. It's not
Yes.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Yep.
So I don't know. You know, they could still be the Kansas City Chiefs or just the Kansas Chiefs. Listen, you're Kansas. You're lucky that you're in a fucking got a what do you call it anyway? A
Yeah.
team anyway in Kansas. What kind of market could there possibly be in Kansas?
I don't know the travel this. I didn't do a lot of research into because I don't think it's a big topic for me. It's not like oh my God, I can't believe they're moving. I understand moving out of Chicago. I mean, if the Bear, that is a terrible city right now with terrible leadership. And if they got a better offer to build a nicer stadium in a nicer area, go for it. I mean, I would love to see the Jets and Giants in New York City playing. Where would you put the stadium? Like, where would you actually build a stadium for those teams?
Well, here's the thing. To me, okay, in New York, it's a little bit different. Where are you going to put those stadiums? The Yankees probably aren't going to agree to take on one of those teams and let one of those teams play there.
No.
And the Mets probably wouldn't agree to let one of those teams play at Citi Field.
Yeah.
So, that's two stadiums right there. But where geographically, where would you put a new stadium in New York City?
Nowhere.
And isn't it time for maybe the Jets and the Giants to break off and get their own stadium instead of one that looks like a Bose system that my mom has, where like everything's stacked in towers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what, dude? I haven't been to a lot of the new stadiums yet. I've been to Dallas, and when you go to Dallas and then you go to MetLife, it's like what? It's like your little retarded sister's stadium. Dallas Stadium. You walk through, it's marble everywhere. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful place to go to. And you go to MetLife, and it's like, what is this? You spent all this money. Two teams couldn't come up with enough money and a better design. You had all the room in the world to build out there and make it perfect, and that's what we chose. I mean, it's just ridiculous the way that stadium is built and what it looks like.
With Dallas, question about Dallas. Okay, does Jerry Jones own the studio? The stadium?
I believe he does.
So for him, that's a completely different story. When the time comes that he's no longer with us, maybe he sells the stadium or his family sells the stadium to Dallas or the city or wherever it is, Fort Worth, wherever it is. Who knows? Or they own the studio, or keep calling the studio, the stadium,
right?
And they make more money off the stadium than they would off the team. I don't know.
No.
And then as far as the Jets go and the Giants go, yeah, dude, it's New York. There's a lot of sad things here, but you know something? Dallas is for most of the year, is kind of warm and whether that's conducive to outdoor activities and everything. Here you get winter, you get cold winter, you get snow, ice. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but I agree. MetLife Stadium's hideous looking.
Oh, it's horrendous. It's the worst, and it's ridiculous that you have two NFL teams and you couldn't come up with a better design and a better stadium than that. Is pathetic. You're right. Now, Frank, you said the West Side, not with Hudson Yards. Where Hudson Yards is, you might have been able to do it, but just think of what the West Side Highway and all those streets would look like after a game. Now, maybe public transportation, Penn Station, you got
West Side Highway. West Side where though? Where's he talking about?
Like 30, like in the that would be Hudson Yards is uptown a little bit, like 40 something street, 40s. Yeah, it's a little further up. So to me, you could say, well, it's perfect because you build a stadium in there, and Hudson Yards is a huge place. So you could say, oh, you could have built the stadium over that way, and then you have Penn Station, you got Grand Central, you can you got the tunnels. To me, I never would have thought that area would be conducive. Now, could you build something near Citi Field? You probably could have built a different stadium with taking down all those places that they're now going to build casinos at, and built a stadium over there for the Jets or Giants, probably the Jets. That might have made some sense, but even that area is a nightmare getting in and out of sometimes after a game. You wouldn't know from a Met game because you never get 40,000. But think about putting 60 or 80,000 in that area trying to get out. I think in the Meadowlands is fine. They should have built two separate stadiums. That's my opinion.
Well, listen, you know what? I understand it's a pretty big complex. Is the Brendan Byrne Arena still there?
Yeah, it still is there. Yeah.
What happens there?
I don't know if anything happened. You know what? Maybe it's not there now. I'm not so sure now because nobody plays there. The Devils moved to the Prudential Center, and the Nets are back in Brooklyn. Nets are in Brooklyn, so I don't know. I don't think it is still there anymore.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
Oh, it's offices. Frankie said, okay, so
It's offices. So they converted the whole thing to offices.
I guess that's what Frankie said.
It just said major indoor venue in East Rutherford opened from 1981 to 2015.
Yeah, I don't think they don't think of any events in there anymore. I think that's over with and done. But again, so yeah, I did see that. I didn't want to get to let's get my pops up. Let's get a little bit. I want to get him on. He's got his new computer. I want to see if it's working good.
At least somebody got a new one.
And then we'll get back to the show, and we got a lot of football stuff coming up. We got the dead list coming up. We got a little bit of announcement about the Hard Rocket Sports Band. So let's sit back and have some fun. And we're glad that you guys all popped in tonight. But let's get my dad on. What's up, Pop?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, you?
Mr. Florio.
Good. Hey, Jeff, how's your holidays?
Very good. How about yourself?
Okay, very nice company. Everything was nice.
Good.
I want to ask you about the football. Giants are getting what pick, number 5?
Number 5.
Now, I mean, I don't know much about it because I'm not into college. What if they traded up? I mean, up a little bit.
It's possible.
Trade for 2-3 players because one player is not going to help them.
Well, you're not at number 5. Unless somebody's desperate for a player. Let's say somebody falls out of the top 2 or 3 for some reason, and somebody got anxious to jump up there. You could probably get a number 1 and maybe a 3 or 2, maybe get lucky. But at number 5, if the top 2 quarterbacks go early, it's a pretty good draft for receivers. Defensive linemen, I'm pretty sure, are pretty good in this draft. I haven't done my homework yet. But at number 5, I would imagine the best they'll do is drop a couple of spots and pick up maybe a number 3 pick, an extra number 3 or an extra number 2 if somebody's desperate for a certain player. But after the kid Mendoza, the quarterback for Indiana, and probably this kid Moore out of Oregon, there's not a lot of fanfare for this draft. So I think if I'm the Giants, unless I get overwhelmed, I'm taking the very best wide receiver or linebacker at that moment, and that's the guy I'm taking. Because that's what you need.
I think they need a linebacker. They need defense. I got to tell you, I'm watching football a long time. The Jets. Oh. Now, I'm a Giant fan, but I also root for the Jets. They got to have the worst team that I've seen. I can't remember a team so bad.
Yeah, you know what? It's not even that they're bad, and I don't know how much Jeff paid attention to it at the end of the year, but I thought the last month of the season could have gotten the coach fired. They didn't play. They didn't show up. There was nothing. He didn't get angry enough, and I thought it was not only bad football, Dad, you're right. It was embarrassing football, and for them to get – I mean, Mitch Trubisky hung 38 points on them. I mean, they were pathetic, and it was embarrassing. And the guy didn't deserve to lose his job because I thought, he needed better players and more time. But they were embarrassing, 1. 2, he had a hand in picking the quarterback. So that's all on that all falls on him. That GM and that coach, they picked that kid to be here. And it's got to be killing them watching Rodgers play really well or play well in Pittsburgh enough to make the playoffs. So, it was embarrassing for the Jets. Jeff, you have a thought on that?
No, there's not much that you could say about it other than the only thing that I can say is, we all saw what we saw. There's no denying that.
Yep.
Okay. But is it a case where, the one good thing that you got to say about them is they managed to parlay 5 picks.
Yes.
5 number 1 picks in the next 2 years.
Yes.
Okay. You knew going in that Justin Fields was on his 3rd team, his 5th offensive coordinator. Tyrod Taylor was your backup, and you had a rookie who I believe wasn't even drafted as your 3rd quarterback. you knew that this year was not going to be a good year. It's
No,
definitely not going to be a good year.
I agree, but you can't put on film what you saw the last 5 weeks of that season. It was embarrassing.
Without a doubt, you can't deny it. But I mean, is it something where you got to say, you know what? They started something. We have no choice but to let them go and finish it. Remember, Maccagnan had a bunch of number 1 picks, and you know what? Most of them are gone.
Yeah,
they're not there on the team, and it's like these guys don't seem. If they don't do something by year 2, they're busts. That's what it seems.
I agree with you. Now, I did not come out of there thinking Aaron Glenn is a great X's and O's coach or a motivator. Like, here's the thing. The one thing that I thought he sold me on was that he was going to change the culture. The Jets were going to be a different team. They were going to play hard. They were going to go out there and bite kneecaps. They were going to do all of that kind of stuff. And it was the opposite. And that's, I can live with everything else. Jeff, you're right. No talent or not a lot of talent. They traded away a couple of their best players. I get all of that. But the fact that at the end of the year, we're actually saying this might be the worst team the Jets have put on the field in a long time, that's an indictment. But I agree with you.
Tight.
Yeah, but I agree with you. The one thing I'll say is I do believe you can't fire these guys off of that season. I don't think it's fair to do it. I think you got to give them at least another year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but you have to know, you got to be stern about it. If they don't do something next year, if they don't get a quarterback one way or another, but then again, do they have to draft a quarterback?
No.
Or do they have to get one via free agency or a trade? It all depends. One thing I'll say is I certainly hope they don't go after Joe Burrow. God, I hope not, please.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I would say this. There are some backup quarterbacks to look at. Matt brought it up a while ago, my friend Matt. Mac Jones is a guy that if you can get a guy like that who's shown a little something this year, that's a guy to talk about. There are a couple of people out there that you could probably get your hands on. You may be able to talk to the Giants about a guy like Jameis Winston. I don't think Jameis Winston's winning these Super Bowls, but he showed that he could be competitive. He can keep you in the game. He can still throw touchdowns. If I were the Jets picking at 2, Dante Moore is not a sure thing. And to me, the Jets can't miss. If they could get their hands on Mendoza, who I am not sold on, but he's more legit, I would do it. But at number 2, the Jets need to draft a guy who's going to make a difference. They have to do it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I would not draft
a quarterback. You draft the quarterback number 2.
Yep.
Where is he? You're playing him right away. They got nobody to teach him. It ain't like years ago. I mean, I think that's the biggest problem today in football. These kids come out of school, they're making that $10, $15 million, and they put them right on the field. They have no idea what they're doing. You can see it.
I tell you, you're not going to get an argument out of me. I'm with you on that. I think guys they're forced to play these kids too early. One, to save money. These guys come out there for 4 or 5 years. They're very cheap, and you're able to play. Other guys aren't. So you're forced to play these kids too early, and we've seen it now with Baker Mayfield. We've seen it with Geno Smith. We've seen it with a bunch of guys where it takes 4 or 5 or 6 years for them to catch up to the game. Sam Darnold's a big one. I mean, Sam Darnold's got a team right now again this year. They're the number 1 seed in the NFC. A lot of people think they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl and win. I don't, but theoretically, he's that quarterback. If he goes out there and wins the Super Bowl this year, boy, oh boy, what do we think of the Jets? Did they give up on him too soon? I don't think so. But
no, you know what? I tell you right now, right? But I got to stop you right there. The Jets, the Panthers, the 49ers, and the Vikings all took a flyer on Sam Darnold. Yeah. All of them took a flyer on Sam Darnold at one point in time or another. If Sam Darnold was a real NFL caliber quarterback, don't you think that one of those teams would have stuck with one of those teams?
Well, the Vikings, I think, wanted him back. He just took free agency and ran for money. And
did they even make an offer at him?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look that up. But here's the thing: he had a great year last year up until the last 3 games. Up until that, he was in talks for MVP. They were the best. They were the best team in the NFL. And then he shit the bed like he normally does. This year, they're number 1 seed in the NFC. The Super Bowl goes through them. He has a legit chance to win a Super Bowl this year. Will he? I would think no. But All I'm saying is what you're seeing, Dad, is the result of teams forcing guys onto the field way before they're ready. Some guys take to it quick. The Giants get this kid for the Giants. He does not look overwhelmed. Is he going to have a great year next year? No, there's no guarantee of that. But he got on the field this year, and you go, hey, this kid looks like he's got something. When you watch those guys, Mayfield, Donald, Geno Smith, they look like they never played football in college. So I'm with you. I think that they rush these kids out there too soon. And if I were the Jets, I would draft a guy who falls into like the 3rd round or the 2nd round and draft somebody early that's really going to make a difference for that team. They need a Hall of Fame.
You can't take a kid out of college, put him in the pros, and have him being chased by a 340, 50-pound gorilla looking to kill you. And look at them, they get smashed around. The Giants, you could just see this kid look like he stopped running with the ball much.
Yeah.
Not like he was before.
Well, listen, here's the thing. So, Jeff, I think you'd agree with me with this. So you could, and this is my thing has always been, if you build the team up, now the Giants finally put an offensive line together that was really good this year. It wasn't great, but it was really good. They didn't get their quarterback killed. They ran the ball well. The line played well. You stuck a rookie quarterback back there. They protected him, and he played well. But if you're going to take a kid who came out of college, is a little iffy early, and you put him behind a bad offensive line with nobody to throw to, he's going to get killed, and he's going to look like a jerk doing it. So, you can get away with a guy at number 2 and number 3 who's questionable if you're sticking him behind a really good team. But if you put a questionable guy behind a very questionable team, the answer to that question is it's going to be bad and ugly, and you're going to waste a guy's career. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, listen, a lot that could be said about a lot of teams, but one of the only good things that happened this year for the Jets was they started the same 5 guys pretty much the whole season. They were the only team to do it since like 2023 or something like that. And not that that's a major accomplishment.
No, it is a major accomplishment. No.
For the Jets, it's a major accomplishment. For any other NFL team, it's just those guys, thank God, didn't get hurt. Yeah. But I mean, it's not like you sent 4 of them to the Pro Bowl either. Let's not toot our horns and think like what happened.
100%.
Matter of fact, not one of them went to the fucking Pro Bowl.
But again, if you're going to draft a quarterback and stick him behind a team with a questionable offensive line, a questionable set of receivers, you're setting yourself up for some damage. And to be honest with you, I think that coaching staff and the GM, they need a veteran. Whether they draft a kid and sit him, I think they need a real veteran who can step in and play football for a couple of years. Because if next year goes out there and they draft a kid and they go 3-14 or 3-13-1 or whatever that ugly record is, even whether he turns into a great quarterback 4 years from now, they're not going to get a chance to do it. So the Jets have to be smart here, and they need to wipe out the quarterback room. Goodbye, Justin Fields. Goodbye, Taylor. Goodbye, Brady Cook. Maybe keep Brady Cook, but go get a veteran who can play for a couple of years. Go get a veteran, and then you draft a quarterback and put him behind that.
Well, you have to see what happens. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy it. Nice seeing you.
Later, Mr.
See you over the weekend.
I'll see you over the weekend, Pops. That's my dad. His new computer seems to be working pretty good, so we're pretty happy for that.
I'm trying to restart my computer.
All right.
I don't really. I mean, the iPad is nice. It's nice and smooth. It's running good.
Yeah.
But I don't know the battery life of this thing. I got it on charge. I don't want to leave it on charge the whole night.
There you go.
Either.
But yeah, no other comments. So let's get into a little bit, Jeff. Let's go back to my original conversation that I was having when you came on, which is, a lot of Giant fans, a lot of football fans thought the Giants blew it by going out and winning their last 2 games and going from the number 1 pick in the draft, to the number 5 pick in the draft. And I say to you, Jeff, if you're the New York Giants and you're going into the Raider game, what would you have them do? Like bring 2 guys out of the stands to play quarterback and safety and throw the game? I mean, what would you have expected the Giant players and coaches, who, by the way, most of which won't even be on the team next year, they're trying to get jobs for next year. What would you say to that thought process?
Well, you pretty much wrapped it up right there, and you said something very important. I don't even know if you realized it or not, which is simply that, yeah, you're right. The whole point of it is to make sure that you're on the team next year. Okay, so a lot of those guys, you're right, are not on the team. They're auditioning. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Second of all, because a lot of those guys are not going to be on the team next year, why do they want to tank? Because they're not going to be on the team when the number one pick is made.
Right.
Third, you already have what seems to be a quarterback, a reasonably good quarterback for the Giants. Why tank? What are you going to get? You're already going to get a top 5 pick, top 7 pick. So, it's you're getting a good pick and you're going to get a quality player depending on what you're going to get. Right. I don't know what other picks they have, but, I'm going to be honest with you too. Malik Nabers, that's 2 years in a row that he ended up injured and on the IR to end the season.
Yep.
Scatterboo, I would definitely turn around and tell him, knock it the fuck off with your shit, and make sure that he understands that, his injury could happen to anybody at any given time, of course.
Sure.
But, that's something that you got to live with and understand that it could happen. But we don't need you doing certain things on the field. That's all there is to that.
Very
and
true.
The Rangers, the Giants, they ended up losing a coach, and who knows? The general manager's probably on his last legs right now. You got to see what happens. And listen, they got to be smart in the draft and everything else. I don't know if that's the case over there with these guys.
Yeah, again, to me, the GM's coming back, which I agree with. I think the guy's done a decent enough job, and you got to have some stability. He's brought in some good players. The trade to get Dart was a great one. Nabers is a good pick. Drew Phillips has been a good pick. Tyler Newman's been a good pick. Brian Burns' trade was a great one. There's been some good stuff from him. Nobody, there's not one person could point to a GM and say that guy's made all great moves. Every draft pick has been great. Do I blame the lack of talent for not winning? No, I think this year fell on coaching. The defensive coordinator was terrible. The coach didn't replace him, fix him, or whatever, and he got fired as well. So this season was not about not having talent. This season was about the players not being coached well enough and poor decision making in five games where you're winning in the fourth quarter and you lose. You win 3 of those games, it's a different season. It's a completely different season. You don't have to win 5. If you win 3 of those 5 games that you lost when you had the chance to win, there's a whole different football season we're talking about this year.
Yeah, you're right. But, here's something else that you got to realize. While they picked some decent players, you also pick players that are willing to take a risk. Jackson Dart, he's got to learn to protect himself.
Oh, absolutely.
If not, he's going to, that soft spot on the top of his head is going to remain soft for the rest of his life. He's going to have to wear a helmet off the field too.
But let me finish. So
I mean, there's a bit of a risk. What did he go into concussion protocol at least twice, right?
Well, maybe 3 times. He missed 2 games this year because of a concussion. The other one.
Yeah, but how many times did he go in the tent?
I think at least 3 times.
Yeah, you got to protect yourself. To be successful, you got to protect yourself. That's all there is to it. I know I can't keep saying about Scatterboo, but I'm going to say it anyway. You got to watch him and his antics. He's a hard player. Hard players don't always have long careers in the NFL.
Very true.
Got to be careful. Got to watch what he's doing. Malik Nabers, was it just wrong place, wrong time? And
I put the comments on the screen. I don't know if you could see them.
Yeah, I can see them. I can see them.
So that way you'll be able to see them. Okay, go ahead.
And just you gotta, this team maybe has to gel. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that team. Nobody does. They probably don't know what's going to happen with that team.
Yeah, listen, there's going to be some changes. All that's true, but there's a core group, and I think there's some talent here. Now it all comes down to coaching. Now, who's the next coach? And here's the good news for the Giants, in my opinion. There are 3 legitimate head coaches in that group. Okay, you got, and there's names are out there: Antonio Pierce and Mike McCarthy, obviously Stefanski and Harbaugh. There's a bunch of offensive and defensive coordinators. Shula's grandson. You got a whole bunch of guys out there. I would love to see Harbaugh. That's the guy I want. But if we wind up with any of those three guys as the head coach, I'll feel okay. I won't be great, but I'll feel okay. Now, this weekend, there could be some changes, Jeff. What if the Steelers lose this weekend, right? If the Steelers get knocked out of the playoffs, is Tomlin a goner? There's actually been some talk that if the Eagles lose, Sirianni could be on the hot seat. I don't see it, but
well, listen, you got to take it one day at a time and see what's happens, what's available. The more teams that end up firing coaches as the offseason goes on, the more of a selection for a guy like fucking Harbaugh. So maybe he says, what, I see something in Philadelphia if they let him go, or I wouldn't mind going to Pittsburgh and sticking it to the Ravens twice a year. See how I do against the team that I built with a new team. But some of those teams have attractive points to them, like the Steelers. Are they going to have a quarterback next year, or are they going to be looking for a new quarterback next year?
I think either way, I can't imagine Rodgers comes back, especially if they win a playoff game. If they lose, I just don't see him coming back. I think he's played well enough, but I think it's that time. Could they coax him back with a big contract and all that? Again, that might be a team that might be looking for a new quarterback next year. Regardless, I don't think that's going to happen, whether Tomlin comes back or not. That's interesting. But, to me, like I said, if you're Harbaugh, I'm waiting this weekend out. I'm not making any decisions. I'll go talk to people, but I'm not making any quick decisions. So to me, you're going to wait to see what now you saw today that Mike McDaniel from the Dolphins got fired, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I'm sorry, but that smells fishy to me. To me, that looks like somebody reached out and said, would you be interested? And he must have said, sure, or I'll absolutely listen, because for them to fire their coach a week later makes no sense to me.
Well, here's the thing with that. Everything you're bringing up is a valid point. All right, you got to remember something. You're talking about Harbaugh started off, he played in Chicago, right? He was the quarterback, right?
No, that's his brother.
Okay, he didn't play football?
I don't think he ever played in the NFL. I don't remember him. His brother was a quarterback in Chicago, in Indianapolis.
Jim Harbaugh, yeah.
Jim. But John, I don't think ever played. I think he just maybe college.
Okay. Yeah. He coached in Michigan for many years too, didn't he?
As an assistant, yes. His brother was the head coach in Michigan. Jim was
I thought he was the head coach. But bottom line, he was in Michigan.
Yeah.
Cold weather city.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Ravens, another cold weather NFC North team, cold weather team. Do you think he's really going to want to go to Miami, a warm weather city? This is a guy that has played and coached. When I mean played, like his teams played in cold weather cities from all of his career. That's what he knows. Could you imagine him playing a game in December where it's 80 degrees in Miami? Is he going to be able to handle that, or is it?
Maybe it's the lifestyle. Maybe it's the lifestyle, Jeff. You go down and you're living in Miami, you're making money. Don't forget, no income tax. So
I know, but somebody like him, dude, has so much money. The last thing he's worried about is income tax.
You say that, but you'll be surprised. To me, though, it just doesn't make any sense that Miami, knowing the season they were having, waited a week after Harbaugh declared he got fired, that you're going to now fire McDaniel a week after. And I don't buy the Dolphins taking the Lions off the coordinator.
It's only first of all, it's only 4 days.
Oh,
the season ended Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today's the 4th day. It's not a week later.
I got you,
and supposedly he had a meeting with the general manager or the president or owner of the team, and they just didn't like what he had to say. I think he's a creepy looking little man.
Oh, absolutely, and he deserved to get fired. To be honest with you, they deserve to wipe out, clean house, and move on. I'm with you. I don't believe the guy's a good head coach. He might be a good offensive coordinator, but he's not a great head coach. So I just think it's odd that they pull that maneuver. Now, here's a question I'm going to give you. You're John Harbaugh. You're the best coaching candidate right now. Oh, let me ask you this question. Start with this. If Mike Tomlin gets fired or leaves the Steelers, who's the best coaching candidate, him or Harbaugh?
Wow. Oh, listen, they both showed longevity at their previous positions.
15 years each.
They both showed
Both won
success.
Super Bowls. Yep, they both won Super Bowls.
You know, I don't know, man. That is definitely a coin toss to me. It's like saying
it's probably Harbaugh because he's developed quarterbacks. Where Tomlin's never developed his own quarterback. That's the one knock I would have on him.
Oh, I got to say, Tom, I don't think that he had to. Harbaugh, he had just as many quarterbacks as Tomlin. If you think about it,
he had a rookie in Joe Flacco who went out to have a good career, won a Super Bowl. He had Lamar Jackson. I'm not a huge fan.
This is true. I'm thinking before. I was thinking before Flacco.
Yeah,
but there was a different coach there.
Yes,
but not for nothing. Tomlin had Roethlisberger. He did pretty good for himself.
He inherited Roethlisberger.
Yeah, but he didn't get rid of him.
No. All I'm saying is that's the one knock I would have on Tomlin. One, I think his teams has kind of petered out, but he's never drafted a quarterback and developed him into the next player where you could say, arguably, Harbaugh's done it twice. One with Flacco, not a Hall of Famer, not an MVP, but he was a Super Bowl MVP, won a game, won a big one. And Lamar Jackson's won two MVPs. So to me, that's the only thing that really separates the two of them. I think Harbaugh is the better pick. I would be happy with either one as a Giant fan. I'll be honest with you. But to me,
I'll deny that.
Yeah. So, but now here's the question I have. So Harbaugh's the best candidate out there. He's got the choice of any one of these jobs. What's the job, in your opinion, that is the most attractive right now? All right, I'll give you the list. Ready? The Dolphins?
No.
Browns?
Who?
The Browns.
No, hold on one second. Let's go back to the Dolphins. I wouldn't want to be the Dolphins because they got to get themselves a quarterback.
Yes.
Which could end up being quarterback hell. You got Tyreek Hill, which you got to figure out what you're going to do with him. I think there's a lot of questions on that team, and I wouldn't want to be part of it.
I agree with you 100%. Okay, now next team up is the Browns. Would you, if you were him, do you think the Browns are an exciting new team ready to go?
No, I don't.
Right, ownership's terrible. There's tons of questions on that roster.
There's a lot of questions.
Okay, now here's one interesting. Now I heard a different name, but what if the Raiders' job was offered to him?
Definitely not.
I agree with you. I think right now that's a terrible spot. I've heard Dable as a guy who might wind up there. That's a name that nobody's talking about, but I heard it twice, two different places. And
Mike Vrabel?
No. Brian Dable.
Oh, Brian Dable?
Yeah, it seems that Tom Brady loves Brian Dable for some reason. And Tom Brady's obviously a minority owner and seems to have a little bit of say. Still not out there big time, but that's an interesting one I've heard. Okay, so it's not the Raiders. How about the Giants? Is Giants the most attractive spot so far?
No, because there's a lot of. He's 63 years old too.
Oh.
Is he going to want to really be put 3 years of effort into a team and hope that they become? Well, I don't know.
Think about this: the Giants supposedly they have their quarterback. They have a cornerstone left tackle. They've got at least 2, if not 3, pass rushers. You got Malik Neighbors. You got $50-something million in salary cap and the number 5 pick. So again, might not be the best choice. I think it might be, but it might not be. But it's definitely a quality place to wind up. You got great owners. So let's put it on the side. Let me give you the rest of the names, and then you can pick the team you think is the most attractive opportunity out there for a coach. Ready? Next one up is the Titans.
No.
I agree. You got lots of questions in their quarterback, too many questions on their roster. I would agree with you. I'm going to leave the Ravens out since he just got fired from the job. Next up is the Cardinals. Is the Cardinals the place that if you were John Harbaugh, you want to wind up in Arizona?
No.
Not even close. You still got Kyler Murray. There's all sorts of issues out there, ownership issues, the whole thing. I think that. So now here's the team that might be the most attractive, and you're going to think I'm crazy, the Atlanta Falcons.
No, I don't think you're crazy. I actually was waiting for you to come up there. I think it's a team to be considered.
Yeah.
But then again, here's the thing. Okay. Every single year, the Falcons seem to be on the cusp of turning. every single year. They're not winning. They're not in the playoffs or anything of that nature, but they just seem to be almost there, ready to take the next step. A lot of people, I think they won what they were like 4 or 5 in a row at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So are they a bad team, a bad choice to go to? No, I don't know if what is it, Penix, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah, Michael Penix. So they have
None of Penix, if he's going to be the quarterback that he's going to want to deal with. But I don't think it's a bad choice. I don't know much about them other than they're not a terrible team. They're not the Jets or the Giants, and they're definitely not the Cardinals.
They have some good players. I mean, Bijan Robinson, their running back, is one of the best in the league right now. If you believe in Michael Penix, I am not a huge Michael Penix fan, but some people believe that he is a future franchise quarterback, and under a guy like that, the ownership is desperate. Arthur Blank is 80-something years old. He's desperate to win. Here's the best part. You're in a shitty division, so you really have a chance to dominate with, right out of the box. So to me, of the choices, now that doesn't mean if the Steelers job comes available, that doesn't mean if the Eagles job becomes available. If a playoff team gets bounced and a coach gets fired, that's a different story. But based on the teams available right now, I would say it's very, very close. And the only reason I would pick the Giants, and not just because I'm a Giant fan, is because I think the Giants have their quarterback, and I'm not sure that the Falcons do. But the Giants also play in a very tough division, or it could be a tough division, I should say. So I would think the Falcons' job is probably a little more attractive, but we'll see. What's your thought? Final on it.
Well, listen, maybe it behooves him to, sit back and wait and let this. People are going to wait on him.
Yeah. Oh no. Listen, he's setting the schedule right now.
Yeah, Tom, I got my laptop on.
Okay.
If I'm going to try to enter the studio, let me know if I show up. I just hit enter. Let's see what happens.
Let's see. You're there, but I can't bring you. Oh, hold on. I can now.
Okay, hold on. If I come on, I'm gonna jump off the.
Yeah, hold on. I see you now.
Okay, but I'm not there. I can hear me.
I see you in both places. I hear you in both places.
All right, I'm shutting off the iPad. All right.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're a little.
But I can't see you yet.
Oh, okay. I see you fine.
But let's see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. Frank Catalano, I like to think of all the jobs. Yeah, I think of all the jobs, the Giants'
Can you
job.
still see me?
I can see you. I hear you fine. Yeah, I see you.
But hopefully that changes.
Yeah. You're good to go. Seeing him, Frankie said seeing you double was scary.
If not, I could jump back on the iPad.
Yeah. Do you hear me, Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay, because I see you. You're definitely not.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're a little behind.
I gotta plug in my speakers.
Now I lost him. He's gone. I don't know. Hard Rocket Sports waiting for Jeff to come on back. He kind of disappeared on me, but yeah, seeing double of Jeff is not good for anybody's health. I have to tell you. I think that's pretty scary. Hold on, Jimmy. So I'm just typing. Okay, I think Jeff's back. Let's see if we got him all figured out. Are you back and better now?
Yeah, back on the iPad.
Gotcha.
I'm just going to charge the computer and
Frankie, I agree with you. It is historic, and I do think that there's enough pieces. Like, I think if the Giants were a total train wreck right now, no quarterback, too many missing parts, I would think, regardless, he would not take the opportunity. But I think there's enough pieces there, and I also think that it would mean a lot to a guy like that to take the Giants to back to where they're relevant again. Where the Giants are a place you don't want to play, even if it's not a Super Bowl team. I think that's that kind of guy he is. And again, all those other jobs I think are really kind of start all over, and I'm not sure he wants to, but I think he's going to wait it out, Jeff, until he see if one of these playoff teams. There's also been some rumors, and I was a little surprised by it, that if the Packers were to lose, that their coach could be in some trouble. I'm not sure, but nothing would shock me in today's NFL.
No, I hear that.
Yeah, so, guys, we'll have the dead list right before the show ends. We're going to hold that to the end. I do want to get to a bunch of things right now. I want to go through the playoff games with you. And I want to get to the last elite quarterback for each team list, which I think is, I thought some of the guitar and bass player lists we went through for Rolling Stone were horrendous. I would tell you that list might be worse.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
I'm going to bring it up now. It's bothering me so much. I'm going to bring it up now. All right, hold on. Let me find it. Let me find it. And then a big thank you to Frank Catalano, who put it up there, and we all got to see it and jump on it. And let's see. Jimmy Galicchio just got back to me on picking songs. That's always a good thing.
You got to send me these songs. I got to see what's going on.
They're on the list. I put them on the chat.
Oh, okay.
I put the whole thing on the list, so you should be able to see it. Where is it now? Okay, here it is. There it is. Let me see if I can share it onto the show. Share screen. Frank Catalano's Facebook. Share. All right, there it is, Jeff. Can you see that?
Yes,
Okay, so let me do this. I'm going to go right to.
We'll start at number one and work your way down.
All right, we can do that. So, I don't really consider Kurt Warner the and when somebody says the elite, do you consider that the greatest quarterback in the franchise history or just the last elite quarterback?
I think the greatest quarterback in franchise history, without a doubt.
Yeah. So to me, Kurt Warner's not it for the Cardinals. Now, maybe he is, because I don't know who else I would consider a great Cardinal quarterback, but I just don't put him in. I try to make it easy. I saw the list. I'm good with everything. Okay, so Jimmy's good with the list. Okay. So what I'm saying is Kurt Warner to me is a Los Angeles Ram, right? Like, I don't consider him, and I don't think he was great, even though he took him to the Super Bowl. I don't think he was. I had a great career with the Cardinals. Would you agree?
Well, you know what?
And Frankie,
what other Cardinal quarterback has done anything with the Cardinals?
Well,
they haven't been relevant in decades.
I got you, but if you go back to those, and Frankie brought up Neil Lomax and Jimmy Hart, they were really good quarterbacks. Now, were they good
quarterbacks? Yes. Did they ever go to a Super Bowl without buying a ticket? Definitely not.
Yeah, I can't put a guy who's there for a couple of seasons as their best quarterback of all time. And so again, I didn't have much of an issue with it. So,
but during the Super Bowl era, what other quarterback was better?
Again,
you can't name a better one though.
Well, hold on. Am I basing it on Kurt Warner's entire career or his career as a Cardinal? Because if career as a Cardinal, I'd say Jimmy Hart was a better Cardinal quarterback. Am I saying he's the better quarterback for his career? Then the answer is right. So what's the criteria?
Oh, listen, Kurt Warner almost won a Super Bowl with the Cardinals. Jimmy Hart never went to a Super Bowl with the Cardinals.
Very true.
So I would have to say that to be the elite quarterback of your franchise, you'd have to do something by getting them to the fucking Super Bowl or being a consistent winner for many, many years. But as we go down the list, we'll come across a couple of each. But I know we're going to disagree on a lot of these, but that's okay.
All right, so let's go. Matt Ryan, I don't have a problem with.
No, I think he's fine.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, I would, if it's based it just on the Ravens, not taking it back to the Baltimore Colts days and all that stuff, I would say it's fine. Lamar Jackson.
Wait, there's a question about Lamar Jackson.
Go
ahead. The Baltimore Ravens, you said the Baltimore Colts, but the Baltimore Colts went to Indianapolis. That would actually be the Cleveland Browns.
That's true, right? Okay.
they relinquished all of those records
back to the other, yeah.
And then now they're just strictly under the Baltimore Ravens.
I would, again, I have no problem with that. I think as a Raven, leave it alone. Lamar Jackson, I think, I don't have any issue. Do you have an issue with that?
No, but I do have an issue with the next one.
See, now, Josh Allen, okay, who would you put that instead of Josh Allen?
Jim Kelly.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay.
Four Super Bowls in 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, Josh Allen is maybe the best statistical Buffalo Bills quarterback, but overall, his best quarterback, I think you got to go with Jim Kelly. 4 years in a row. Not many people have ever, if anybody's ever gone to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row.
That's very true. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I won't disagree with you. Again, there's two ways to look at this list. When they say the last elite quarterback, so Josh Allen's an elite quarterback. So you could get away with saying he's the last elite. I've kind of taken this list as who's the best quarterback in the franchise history. That's
I think that you have to go that way.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we're both. I'm going to agree with you. I think Jim Kelly should be there. As much as I think Josh Allen might be a better quarterback than Jim Kelly, he hasn't done what Jim Kelly's done, and that's lead a team to full straight.
Josh Allen also went to what? He's been in one Super Bowl. If he wins one, he could be the best.
Yeah,
he could be the best. So next up, we got Cam Newton.
Yeah, again, Carolina Panthers. I mean, I don't know. You can go back.
They don't have much of a history.
Yeah, I mean, there's some guys early on, but I don't think I'd even argue this one. Chicago Bears, Jay Cutler. You could, all right. You want to say Jay Cutler? I don't. They've never had a great quarterback. I mean, Jim McMahon. You want to say McMahon won a Super Bowl? You're
talking about a team that's yet to have a quarterback break 4,000 yards, and they're like a 100-year-old franchise in the NFL. That's a difficult one, but I don't know. I mean, like you said, Jim McMahon, who was only there for a short time.
Yeah, but he won a Super Bowl.
So, he did win a Super Bowl, but it was because of the defense, not because of him.
100%. No, but again, so, I mean, this is a hard one because they just have a history of not having great quarterbacks. So, to me, you can also go back and we can argue Jim Harbaugh was a better quarterback than Jay Cutler. I don't know. I don't. This one's a tough one. I just don't think there's enough arguments there. This next one's an interesting one. So Joe Burrow. Is Joe Burrow the best quarterback in Cincinnati Bengals history?
With Boomer Esiason and Ken Anderson,
they both went to the
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. All three of them went to the Super Bowl and got the same results.
Yeah. If you're asking me, I think Kenny Anderson is a borderline Hall of Famer. In fact, I think he's up for the Hall of Fame this year. I think he's a borderline Hall of Fame. I think Boomer's a better. Boomer in his early years was an MVP. I mean, a great quarterback. I think his long term wasn't great. It's hard to argue Burrow's had a good career so far. To me, I would probably go.
But he hasn't been in the playoffs in 4 seasons.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I would go with either Boomer or Anderson, and I can live either way. To be honest with you, no knock on Joe Burrow. I just don't think it's enough body work so far.
He's lost 2 seasons due to injury too.
Yeah, I agree. So next up is Cleveland Browns Bernie Kosar. I mean, unless you want to argue Brian Sipe, unless you want to.
Skip next. There's no reason. It's a quarterback in Cleveland. There's no reason to argue that. And look how long ago he was. Yeah. All these other guys are kind of like modern guys. You're talking somebody that hasn't been on the field in almost 40 years.
Yeah. The next one is my first one I have a huge problem with. How is Dak Prescott there and not Roger Staubach? I mean,
I agree.
It's not even. First off, Dak Prescott is not an elite quarterback in any stretch. He is terrible in the playoffs. He is terrible in big games. His teams routinely do not achieve what they're supposed to do. He is not an elite quarterback, so take him out. And I got to go all the way. Now, you can even go back and say he's not even better than Troy Aikman. Where's Troy Aikman instead of him?
Well, if I was picking a lead quarterback for Dallas like you, I would have to go with Roger Staubach. Even what's his face? Tony Romo might have been better.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I agree with you. So to me, I can go back to Romo, skip Romo, fine. I can go to Troy Aikman. The guy won 3 Super Bowls. And then I go back to Roger Staubach, who's a Hall of Famer also, won a Super Bowl and is, in his time at college. So to me, this is the dumbest pick so far.
Well, actually, the next one is pretty dumb too.
I agree. Now, I'm a huge Peyton Manning fan, but let's be honest. He had one great year with the Broncos. He won a Super Bowl as a guy who was basically took him out of the stands. You could have picked that guy in the stands to play that position. It's to me, it's Elway. It
has to be.
Has to be Elway. How could it not? And again, I like Peyton. Is Peyton's career better? Is Peyton for his career better than Elway? Probably. Yep. Right? I would say.
Yeah, but you want to know something? Elway went to more Super Bowls.
Agreed, but
Peyton Manning only went to three. Only three. Only three.
You won two.
And won 2 of the 3.
Yeah. So, but I'll say that to me, while Peyton's career might be better as a Bronco quarterback, there is no other ifs, ands, or buts. It's John Elway. It's not even close.
I totally agree.
All right, let's move on. Matthew Stafford and the Lions, I don't have a problem with.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah. Now here's another one. Now, okay, so there's
a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, is it? Bart Starr had a great career. He wasn't a great quarterback, but it's a different era. To me,
Super Bowls.
Yeah. To me, I almost think that it's Favre. I think Favre had more presence up there. I think Favre had better career. He killed it at the end. I would almost put Favre there before I would put Rodgers. It's hard for me to put Starr there because it's a different era of quarterback, but he did win 2 Super Bowls.
Listen, to me, if we're looking at elite quarterbacks, we're looking from the Super Bowl on, Super Bowl 1 on. So I don't have a problem with Bart Starr. I don't have a problem with Brett Favre. I just kind of have a problem with Aaron Rodgers because those other guys have gone to multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Bart Starr won multiple Super Bowls. Brett Favre went to multiple Super Bowls, only won 1. To me, it's got to be Bart Starr or Brett Favre. Brett Favre, I understand he had a lot of he was a gunslinger, so he had a lot of interceptions, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, but a lot of interceptions, a lot of losses too.
Yeah. I can't put Rodgers in that spot. If you want to argue Starr for 2 Super Bowls over Favre with 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 win, I could go with it. I can live with that argument. I can't put Rodgers in there. I just can't. His
not
Super Bowl, he just kind of dropped off the face of the earth when it came to the Packers, and I can't put. So I think that's another one I have a big problem with. Deshaun Watson, we're calling it the Texans. Who we put?
There's nobody else to put there.
Yeah, I just whatever, leave it. I have a big problem with Rich Gannon. I'm sorry, I'm taking Jim Plunkett, to be honest with you, or Kenny Stabler. I mean, how's Kenny Stabler not on a
we
radio?
Passed a few up.
Oh, we did? I'm sorry.
Peyton Manning for
I'm sorry. Yeah, my screen's bigger now. Sorry. Okay, so Peyton Manning for the Baltimore Colts, no problem. Indianapolis, Baltimore Colts, however you want to say it.
Trevor Lawrence, there's really been nobody else.
Well, they had what was the guy? There was a lefty quarterback that they had.
Brian Leftwich?
No. Back in when they first came up, they went to two. Mark Brunell. See, Trevor Lawrence has been a bust. I'm saying, to me, I'll take Mark Brunell at this point. Now, Trevor Lawrence may go on and have a big year this year and next year and the year after, but at this moment, Mark Brunell went to 2 AFC Championship games in a row. I think that's a bad pick. I think that's just, I don't know any better, and I want to do my research. I'll take Trevor Lawrence. I think that's a bad pick. To me, it's Brunell.
You know what? It's been so long, and that team has had not so good luck in the last couple of years. So, it's kind of hard to say. You forget they didn't really do nothing either way. But okay, I could hear that one. I could go that one.
Okay, Patrick Mahomes, I think, is a no-brainer. As much as I like somebody, with Len Dawson, Patrick Mahomes is 5 Super Bowl, all these 3 Super Bowl wins, all that stuff. Yeah, to me, there's no doubt in my mind. Patrick Mahomes is the best Kansas City quarterback. I'm assuming you have the same feeling, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, the Raiders. I mean, I would take Plunkett and Kenny Stabler, and if I'm going to pick of the 2, I think Kenny Stabler is the guy. I mean, how's Rich Gannon there ahead of those 2 guys?
I don't know. I mean, that's another team that's gone through their share of quarterbacks over the years, but yeah, I find it hard to disagree. And
Yeah, I mean, Kenny
yeah,
Stabler won the Super
Kenny
Bowl.
Stabler.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. Jim Plunkett, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean Plunkett won 2. I mean, at the very least, I mean, I'm not saying Jim Plunkett was a great quarterback. I mean, he was a Heisman Trophy winner out of Stanford. You know, really never found his way until he won a couple Super Bowls. But at the very least, the Snake was a top 5, top 7 quarterback in the 70s. I mean, it's
Dude, listen, 2 Super Bowls is 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The next one is the one I have the biggest problem with. This one to me is the most egregious. Philip Rivers had a nice career, probably a Hall of Famer. He is not Dan Fouts. I don't care if Dan Fouts never played in the Super Bowl. Dan Fouts is a top 10 quarterback, maybe all time, certainly of the 70s and 80s.
Well, you know, I'm trying to look up his stats now.
Dan Fouts?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got him. Yeah, I got him. All right. So for his career,
yep,
he passed for 43,040 yards.
Okay.
That's this fucking pain in the fucking balls.
And I guarantee Rivers had a 90,000 yards probably.
He also threw for, if it'll fucking stop, 254 touchdowns.
Wow.
But now here's the thing with Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts was the next player after Joe Namath. Joe Namath was the first player in the NFL to break 4,000 yards. And then Dan Fouts eclipsed it like every year after that.
Yeah.
But he didn't do much. But I mean, stat-wise, I think that Philip Rivers has him stat-wise. I just think that you never realized that Philip Rivers did what he did. But he also played like almost double the amount of time that Fouts did.
Yeah, and a different era, Jeff. Even when Fouts was Air Coryell, you know, they didn't throw the ball 50 times a game. I mean,
no.
It's a different era. And, you know, you're talking about an era where guys were throwing for 2,400, 2,600 yards, 2,800 yards. Oh. If you got the 3,000, it was a great year. And there's a guy throwing for 4,000 a year. To me,
year after year, too.
Yeah, and I like Philip Rivers, but to me, he's a borderline Hall of Famer. Dan Fouts was a no doubt Hall of Famer.
Yeah, is he in there?
Fouts? Yeah, I can't imagine he's not. Dan Fouts is a Hall of Famer.
I would imagine. I know this much. Just real quick, he went 3 years in a row. He went from 2,999 yards to 4,082, 4,715, 4,802, and then he dropped down to 2,883 yards and still led the NFL that year.
Yeah,
in passing, and that was in 79, 80, 81, 82. Yeah.
And how many guys at that point were throwing the ball for 4,000 yards? Probably nobody.
No. Well, actually, what year did Marino get into the league?
83.
81, 82?
No, 83. It was about 83 draft.
I know he kind of picked up the slack there.
Agreed. But, you know, you're talking about Fouts' the main part of Fouts' career was late 70s and into early 80s. And there's a time when guys just, you know, running backs were running the ball 25 and 30 times a game. They weren't throwing that kind of ball. So I'm not against Philip Rivers, but Dan Fouts is a Hall of Famer who played an era that they didn't throw the football, and he threw the football. I mean, that's just crazy to me. Next up is Matthew Stafford, who's on the list twice now, and now with the Rams. So, okay, so here's the question. Who's the greatest Ram quarterback of all time? Is it Jim Everett? Not really.
No.
Vince Ferragamo? No. I mean, you know, so does he get there?
Who's that? Pat Hayden? No, not him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think Stafford gets it because who else is there?
Well, this year alone, he's having an incredible year.
No, I agreed. I'm not knocking the guy. I'm just saying, you know, it's hard to be the greatest quarterback at two teams. But when you look at the two teams, and you know, I mean, realistically, who's you know, Jim Everett's probably the next best quarterback that they've had for a long period of time. I can't think of another guy that I can think of that. Kurt Warner, I'm sorry, he's right. I completely forgot. I was already on the Rams before. Kurt Warner belongs in that spot. Kurt Warner for his career as a Ram.
Who said Kurt Warner?
Frankie.
Frank,
yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? That was my argument from before, and I forgot it. Kurt Warner deserves to be in that spot.
All right. So we got him.
Okay. Dan Marino in Miami, Jeff. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, they're hard to disagree with that.
Brett Favre is the worst pick in this spot. To me, it's Fran Tarkenton. I mean,
got to be Fran Tarkenton.
Got to be Fran Tarkenton. To me, still probably the best quarterback that franchise has ever had at this point.
Dante Culpepper.
Yeah, I mean, how? I mean, Brett Favre was there for what, 2 years?
2 or 3 years. Yeah.
How does that? I mean, we can knock a lot of things, but Fran Tarkenton went to how many Super Bowls? 3?
Yeah, no, 4. 4.
Okay.
Did he go to 4?
I don't know if he was the quarterback on all 4. I think the first one was Joe Kapp. Injun Joe Kapp might have been to their first Super Bowl that they lost to the Raiders. So
okay.
But you have to look that up. Frankie says it was 4. He could be right. You could be right. I just think that there might have been the very first one, might not have been Tarkenton. So, but to me, that's probably the worst pick on this entire list is that Brett Favre as the Vikings quarterback. I have to say he wasn't even elite there. Even if you want to change it and say, well, he was the last guy who was elite. He was never elite there. He played okay, but that's ridiculous. Tom Brady and the Patriots, I guess that's a no-brainer, right?
Joe Kapp leading them to their first Super Bowl, and then Fran Tarkenton. So you were right. Yeah,
I thought Injun Joe Kapp. Yeah, he was. If you ever watched the movie The Longest Yard, Joe Kapp plays one of the guards in that movie. Just for
okay.
Drew Brees for the Saints. I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Eli with the Giants.
Yeah, to me, I mean, listen, I can argue Sims. The careers are different. Eli won 2. Sims got 2 rings, but he was hurt, even though he had a great year before he got hurt. To me, it's Eli. I don't know how you argue it any more than that. Joe Willie sold his soul for that title. So yeah, you'd have to give.
Sold his soul for that title, but you know what? Does Sanchez get any consideration there? Going to 2 AFC Championship games? Does Vinny Testaverde? Because I mean, other than
Joe Willie he's a Hall of Famer. Regardless of whether I think he's a true Hall of Famer, he's in the Hall of Fame. He won a Super Bowl. He had a couple of really good years, not great, but really good years. Sanchez had a couple of good years, but think about it, those teams won because they ran the ball well and they played great defense. So I would, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's Joe Willie. The Eagle one, you want to argue Ron Jaworski over Hurts. Hurts won a Super Bowl. Jaworski won.
Hurts has just 1 Super Bowl to his name, correct?
Yes. Well, he went to 2 and lost 1.
Yeah, I guess it's Hurts. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I think Jaworski was a great quarterback, but 1 Super Bowl and a loss. I guess you can put Hurts in there. This is another egregious one. I like Big Ben as much as anybody. Terry Bradshaw went to 4 Super Bowls, won them all, was an MVP at least in 1, if not 2 of them. I no disrespect to Ben Roethlisberger, but that should be Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, hard to argue that one, man.
Yeah, Joe Montana, I guess that's a no-brainer unless somebody wants to argue Steve Young in there, but to me, it's Joe Montana.
Yeah, it's got to be. Joe Montana had a couple great games.
Frankie, I agree with you. As a thrower as a football player, Ben might have been a better player. He might have been. I'm not disagreeing, but it's 2 different eras. The guy went to 4 Super Bowls. 4. And then Ben went to 3, went 2 and 1. So it's not terrible. I gotta go. The Steelers the 70s Steelers are the greatest team of that decade. He is the quarterback of that team. He's got to be the lead guy there. I'm sorry. I know
you can't fault the teams for the style of play that they played at that time. And it was a different time without a doubt. But to get your team in the Super Bowl 4 times when nobody else was actually getting to the Super Bowl at that point in time.
And Frank, and don't forget, you had 2 wide receivers go to the Hall of Fame. The running back went to the Hall of Fame. The quarterback's in the Hall of Fame.
A lot of people went to the Hall of Fame off of that fucking team.
Yeah, so it's not the 85 Bears where you'd say, well, without that, or the 2000 Ravens. The Steelers defense by no means wasn't great. They were, and yes, they beat the crap out of people, but that offense was, for its time, they scored tons of points. That, to me, I think it's Terry Bradshaw by a long stretch. I'm sorry, I just got to go that way. Montana's fine. Russell Wilson
for Seattle. Who else? Who else is it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, you have to go back to Jim Zorn. I mean, Dave Craig had a bunch of good years, but
yeah, but Russell Wilson has a Super Bowl, two trips.
Yeah, I think he's overrated, but yeah, I would say I have to agree. The Buccaneers, Tom Brady. I always have a problem when a guy went there for 1, 2, or 3 years and say he's the best. I don't know who else you'd pick. He did win a Super Bowl.
Oh, who else are you going to pick? Doug Williams?
Yeah, Frankie said Brad Johnson, but I don't. I have a hard time with that. Doug Williams.
Tom Brady has a Super Bowl there. Yeah. Enough said. You got a Super Bowl and nobody else before you in franchise history has one. There's really not much that you can say.
Yeah. Steve McNair with the Titans. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know who else
and Oilers too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, even with the Oilers, Kenny Stabler's there for a couple of years, Dan Pastorini. But if you're really going to go through it and all that stuff, I don't think it's a bad choice. And although, where's Warren Moon in that? Shouldn't Warren Moon be, if you're counting the Oilers with the Titans, wouldn't that be Warren Moon better than Steve McNair?
I guess not.
Yeah, I would. If you're counting both. If you're just saying Titans years, probably McNair is fine. And in the Redskins, Joe Theismann, I got no issue with that. I'm not.
What about Doug Williams? Doug Williams won a Super Bowl over there.
Yeah, he went to 1-1. Joe went to at least 2, 1-1, because he beat the Dolphins, but then he lost to the Raiders. And then Williams went to 1, and Jay Schrader went to 1. So I would go Theismann. I think he had a better career. I think Theismann is Theismann a Hall of Famer? I think he is.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
They might have given him Hall of Fame just because of that injury.
Maybe that's true. Yeah, I don't know if he is a Hall of Fame right now that I think about it. I just think he's got at least 1 win. He went to 2 of them. I would say their glory years were his years. I would go with Theismann. I don't know about you. Would go with Doug Williams over him?
No, I'm just bringing it up because I know he has the Super Bowl. I didn't know, like what Theismann had, like what he ended up with. But no, I don't have a problem with Joe Theismann.
Okay. So to me, Dak Prescott for the Cowboys is a terrible pick. You got to go either Starbuck or you got to go Troy Aikman. I can live with. I can even live with Tony Romo over Dak. I don't think Dak's done anything. The Ben Roethlisberger, I think, is a bad pick. I think it's Terry Bradshaw and easy. I think the Phillip Rivers one's bad. Rich Gannon for the Raiders is bad. How it's not Stabler or Jim Plunkett. So it's definitely.
Wait, Frankie just said that Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl before Brady. But he won it with Tampa Bay?
Yes, they won. They beat the Raiders. Yes,
really?
That was John Gruden's year, I believe, in 2001 or 2. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, but again, it's not just Super Bowls. To me, you got to weigh it all out. Careers, time with the team. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. That was a really good Buccaneers defense. Brad Johnson was an average quarterback who won a Super Bowl. To me, you can argue it, but if I'm going to put him up against Brady, it's a no-brainer. I mean, to be honest with you, you can make a case that Baker Mayfield's had the last 4 years or whatever has had a really good career as a Buccaneer quarterback. Hasn't had the overall success, Jeff. That's the only reason I would say no.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I wouldn't put him in there, but
they did, Frankie. Yeah, Schrader won one. I think it's Schrader, Williams, and
Theismann
and Doug Schrader, Williams, and Theismann all won Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure Schrader won 1 too. That last one, I think it was Jay Schrader, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was I think Mark Rippon. I think it was Rippon, Williams.
Yeah, Mark Rippon. Yeah,
it was Mark Rippon, Williams, and Theismann. But Theismann went to 2. So that's all right. So that's my thoughts on the last elite quarterbacks. Again, to me, this might be the worst list since the bass player one. That we didn't recognize half the people in the top 10.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah. So, but thank you, Frank Catalano, for putting those up. I get a kick out of lists. I think it's a lot of fun to to run through them. So let me get that off the screen. Oh, no. Stay. How am I getting that off the screen? Oh, I got to just exit, I guess. Okay. No, that's not doing it. How do I get that out of here?
There's an X next to that. Okay, there you go.
Got it. Okay. Let's we got about a half. Let's run through the playoff games, Jeff. And then we're going to end the show with the ever famous dead list that you put up every year.
Several pages this year, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, and some iconic ones. I mean, I would say this might be the most iconic list of the dead from our youth to date. You know, when you factor in Hulk Hogan and Ozzy, Ace Frehley, it's a tough list.
Yeah.
Well,
they all got to go somewhere along the line.
That's the truth. All right, let me share this page and let's run through the playoff games and talk a little playoff football, and then we'll end it with the dead list. And I appreciate everybody coming back this week. It's been a few weeks off, Jeff. How was your holiday? You know, I did. It was kind of a blur this year for me. I did a little traveling, and I had a lot of things going on, kids stuff, this and that. But how was your Christmas? How was your New Year's Eve?
On New Year's Eve, I had to go to work the next day. So New Year's Eve, really, we don't do much. We ate dinner at home. I don't even remember what we ate, to be honest with you.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, my wife, she goes above and beyond all the time and makes some good stuff. I just don't remember what we ate.
Okay.
We don't celebrate New Year's Eve like a lot of other people do.
I'm not a big New Year's Eve guy either.
No, not a big thing for us.
Yeah. No, I agree.
My grandmother died on New Year's Eve, so since then right. It's just hasn't really been that big of a day for us.
Yeah, I've never been a huge New Year's Eve guy. To be honest with you, to me, it's I to be honest, to me, the perfect New Year's Eve is just on the couch, feet up, and I'm watching, the Odd Couple marathons or Catch the Ball Drop. I watch it every year. This year we just kind of did it down in Florida, so it was nice. It was quiet, and basically just stayed in all day and really just enjoyed it. So holidays were good this year. I look forward to them every year, and they just go by too fast nowadays.
Yeah, I hear that.
Do you think when we retire and the holidays come around, we'll enjoy it more? Do you think we'll be able to enjoy the days and just kind of hang around the house? And I found myself every morning getting up and having a big thing of hot chocolate with the big marshmallows in it. You're kind of really soaking it in a little bit. Do you think that's what life will be like for us when we're done with this rat race bullshit, or if we ever done?
I hope so, man. I hope so. I would like to think that we're going to enjoy something. Yeah, without a doubt. And listen, we can only hope, but it's what you make of it, man. It's what you make of it. And I enjoy Christmas and stuff, but yes, it seems to go by quicker and quicker every year. But that's because you realize, we're not sitting at home relaxing and just waiting for the next day. We're constantly doing something. So, there's a lot that has to get done, and we're out there doing it. And, it takes a lot of the time up, man. It really does.
No, you're right. It's so crazy. But, and you know what? In keeping in that thing real quick, I'm going to announce it. I know maybe Jeff will say, oh, don't announce it yet. But the Hard Rocket Sports Band's getting together, and we're doing a little different. We're getting together with some friends that we grew up with, and we're going to be doing basically a final show for the Hard Rocket Sports Band. Not the show, but the band will be doing its last show. I think it could be like Spinal Tap, where it's the end continues. Who knows? But at this moment, in May, we will do one show. We haven't exactly picked the place. We do have a date. But Jeff, I'm looking forward to the collaboration. Everybody's most of us seem pretty pumped about it, and I'm looking forward to getting on stage next to you and a bunch of friends that we grew up with in the near future.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun, man. I'm looking forward to it. And listen, as far as saying never say never, man. That's one thing that I learned, because while we're putting together the biggest show that we've ever done with the Hard Rock and Sports Band, and the most important show we've ever done with the Hard Rock and Sports Band.
Yes.
I just got a feeling that it's just going to be dormant for a while, but I think it'll rear its ugly head somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not for the wrong reason.
Well, yeah, me too. But yeah, I mean, it's cool because it's all people we grew up with. Everybody seems really pumped about it. The songs are coming together now. And, to me, it's just going to be fun to get out. And if it turns into the only time something like this happens, now I'm hoping, maybe we do it. It's a blast. It goes really well. And we revive it every year and do it once a year. That would be great. If it never happens again, I'm going to make sure that I enjoy every minute of every practice, every minute of the show, and it will be on some sort of stream cloud that I will always be able to see it. So I'm pumped. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get out there with everybody in a couple of weeks and start practicing and hopefully put on a good show.
It'll be great.
Frank Catalano, you better come. I'm just telling you, you got to come to this one. The lineup is all-star. I will tell you, it is a Rosebank all-star led by Jeff, but it's a Rosebank all-star lineup of musicians. And for me, this is kind of a dream come true. So I'm just real pumped for it. So
it'll definitely be cool.
Yeah. So let's get to the NFL playoff games. Again, Hard Rocket Sports, that's Jeff. I'm Tom. We're back here for the new year. Thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Lots of NFL stuff this week. It's just overwhelming. And I'm sure the next few weeks between the playoffs, coaching changes, there's going to be dominated for the next month. It's going to be a lot of football news around here. And, listen, Jeff, there's some music stuff coming up. We got big concerts this year. Maiden's coming around in September. Triumph is doing a tour. Rush is doing a tour. This is a big year for our music.
Yeah, unfortunately, everybody has some big numbers next to their age.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to see, and hopefully these people make it. And then the announcement that Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler may work together again on some new material.
Yep, I saw that.
Which would be cool, and some other albums that may be coming out. But let's enjoy these people while we still have them around, man.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, Frankie, I went on the line for the Maiden tickets and it was outrageous. I said, I'll wait till they put on a second show. I will go on the secondary market and I will get 2 tickets or 4 tickets or whatever. But as much as I want to see Maiden, I got to be honest, I'm really psyched to see Triumph. I'm going to go see Triumph. It's one of my favorite bands. I'm a little nervous because, Jeff, I don't know what it's going to sound like. I know some of those guys. I think Gilmore's got a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to sound like, but I've never got to see. But if I could pull it off and see Triumph, Rush, and Maiden in the same year, I'll basically retire from going to concerts. That's how
I hear that, man.
They were
I hear that.
Yeah, Maiden. I'm telling you, I went online for Maiden tickets, and they were at a minimum in the nosebleeds for $400 and change each. In the nosebleeds.
Damn.
So, yeah. I just said at that point I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. I mean, a decent seat was like $700. So I just couldn't pull the trigger. What was left? So anyway, we'll talk more about. But this could be a big year for our music with those bands touring. I believe today might be the anniversary of Neil Peart's passing.
I believe it is. Yes.
So I heard a lot of Rush on the radio today. I thought I heard somebody say it. And I can't believe that's got to be 8 or 9 years since he's passed, right? Or maybe more.
So I saw somebody say 6.
Okay, so I know it was pre-pandemic, so 18, 19, I guess it would have been. Still to me the greatest hard rock metal drummer for me. I know people argue other Bonham and all those other guys, and that's fine. They're all great. Just for me, Neil Peart. I hear some of those, rolls and some of those fills, and you just go, Jesus Christ, what? The guy was brilliant. So, my friend. Yeah. So it was yesterday. I know it was in the day, in these couple of days. So, gone too soon, and will be certainly missed for a long time. Big impact for me. Okay, so Jeff, let's run through the playoff games real quick, and then we'll get to the dead list and call it a night. So Jeff, we got two games on Saturday. We got 3 games on Sunday, and we actually got a Monday night football game. You like Monday night playoff games?
No. If anything, I'd rather see a Friday night playoff game.
That's interesting. I didn't think of that. That actually would be, but the problem is they got 2 big college games. That I think these are the last 2 college games before that decide the championship. So they weren't going to play an NFL game tomorrow night. But you're right. I'm not a big fan of the Monday night game because I don't want to stay up late. It's a playoff game. I got to stay up till midnight again. You're right. You played Friday. I get to watch it. Used to be 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. Now they move 1 game. All right, so let's run through. Okay, so let's see. This is okay. So let's run through the Saturday game. Would be first game up on 4:30 on Saturday. Jeff, is the Los Angeles Rams at the Carolina Panthers. This is probably the worst game of the weekend. Potentially, could turn out to be a great game, but potentially this is the worst game out there.
I don't know. With Houston and Pittsburgh, I don't know, man.
Again, I say potentially. That is possible too. But I'll start with that. What's your thoughts on this game? You have a pick for me?
I got to go with the Rams.
Yeah,
I'm hoping the Rams.
Yeah, I'm not a Ram fan for some reason. I don't like their coach. I'm not a big fan of Stafford since he moved over here. I would think the Rams will win this game. I can't see Carolina finding a way to win. I don't think this is a likely upset here. So I agree. But to me, this game's got no juice. If I don't get home for this one, I don't care. Next game up on Saturday, Jeff. And this might be my favorite game of the weekend because it's 2 old-time teams. 2 teams maybe going in wrong directions. Chicago turned their season around from last year. And the Packers are a little underwhelming. Lost Micah Parsons. There's a good chance. Not that this would be an upset because Chicago is the number 2 seed, but Chicago and Green Bay this Saturday night at 8:00. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Green Bay.
It's an interesting pick. I think I agree with you because I believe that they're too experienced, even though they're on the road. I think Chicago is still that new team. The coach has not been in this environment as a head coach. The quarterback obviously has never been in this position. So I'm with you. Would you call this an upset if Green Bay wins? It's the number 7 team against the number 2 team. Would you consider that an upset if Green Bay were to win this game?
No, because it's 2 games difference between these teams. Chicago was 11-6, Green Bay was 9-7. So it's not like I mean, they played in the same division. It's a tough division. It's not like it's 7-9 versus 14-3 or something like that. They're relatively close. They're division rivals, so they know one another. I think it's good. This is the 3rd time they're playing this year. So I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably my one game I'm really pumped up to look for. Let's move over to the Sunday games. First one on Sunday is Buffalo on the road, surprisingly, Jeff, in Jacksonville, who's won 13 games this year, and they seemingly turned the franchise around. Buffalo 12-5, Jacksonville 13-4. Is Buffalo's experience going to go down to Florida and beat Jacksonville?
I hope so. I would love to see Buffalo win and advance, but listen, they haven't been that great all year. I mean, they're 12-5, but not a terrible record by any stretch. But I don't know, man. I don't know. This is going to be a close one.
All right, yeah, I'm going to pick Buffalo just based on experience. I think they have the better head coach. And they have the best player on the field in Buffalo with Josh Allen. So I'm going to say Josh Allen. This is his shot. If there's every year no Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, to me this is his best shot of getting there. Even though I think they might not be the best team in the league, this might be their best shot of getting to the Super Bowl for the AFC. But we'll see. You're taking Jacksonville. I got Buffalo in this one, correct?
I got Buffalo. I think it's going to be Buffalo. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move over to the second game of the day, which is The San Francisco 49ers on the road. Now they're a 12-win team going on the road to play an 11-win team in Philadelphia. I gotta tell you, I like Frisco in this game. I think Philly's been bad all year, or average all year, and I think there's a lot of stuff in their locker room. The quarterback doesn't get along with some of the offensive plays, especially A.J. Brown. The coach is on the hot seat. I like Frisco in this game.
I got to go with San Francisco too. I'm rooting for San Francisco. I don't like Philadelphia. I don't like any of Philadelphia sports teams, to be honest with you. None of them.
Yep,
baseball, hockey, basketball, none of them. So I'm hoping that San Francisco wins. Plus, San Francisco has had a lot of injuries all year long.
Yeah.
So let's see what they can do. Here's hoping that that they could fucking pull it out.
Yeah, I think it would be so much fun to watch the Philly fans go home in their own stadium, losing in the first round of the playoffs.
I hear that.
All right, last game of the day on Saturday is the Los Angeles Chargers on the road in Foxborough against the surprisingly 14-3 New England Patriots. I mean, the Patriots got to be the biggest surprise, Jeff. I mean, they completely turned it around from the last couple of years. 14-3, the number 2 seed in the NFL, in the AFC. I think the Chargers are going to have a hard time beating that team. Offensively, Drake May has had an MVP type year, and that defense is phenomenal. And they probably have the best coach in football. I'm going New England in this one.
Yeah, definitely. I don't trust the Chargers right now. I don't think that they're. Every year they seem to be hot and cold, and they made the playoffs, but I just don't. They're not doing anything for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Who do you want? Frank wants to know Jeff. Who do you want our Broncos to play?
Oh, the Broncos. I'm hoping that they get wiped out in the first round. Their first game. This is in a perfect world as they're introducing the team. Bo Nix trips and falls, and the whole team falls on him. Okay, and don't hurt him too bad, but just fucks him up a little bit. He goes out there and he just never recovers from that. And the team, they end up getting blown out like 35-3. And wait, I'm not done.
You're not done? Okay.
No, I'm not done. And then I hope year after year after year after year from then on forward that they make it to the AFC Championship game, but lose by 40 points every game.
Frank, he called you a hater, Jeff. He called you a hater. All right.
That's all right.
Monday night.
Matter of fact, if he didn't live so far away, I would say I would meet him someplace and watch the Denver game with him so I could be there in person and laugh at him if they blow it.
But if it reversed, you'd be standing there while he ripped you apart. So you'd be better off not watching this game with him. You can always get him on.
I'm never at this point in time. I never have to worry about my team making the fucking playoffs. You're out of your fucking mind.
That's true.
I can't even get them in the playoffs in Madden. Okay, how bad is that?
Yeah, Monday night's game is I think a really good one. I think it's two decent teams. Houston's got a great defense. I'm not crazy about their quarterback. And Pittsburgh's got a top quarterback. He's still plugging along, playing well. They won a good football game the other night. I don't know if you got to watch the Ravens miss the kick.
I watched some of it. I didn't see that part, of course.
Yeah, that it was a game. It's if they win the game, if they lose that game, and Harbaugh and the Ravens win, Harbaugh's still a coach in Baltimore, and Mike Tomlin's probably looking for a job this week. So it's amazing how one kick completely changed over how two people's lives. That's all I can tell you.
Well, everybody is saying this, but I never hear Pittsburgh giving any ultimatum to fucking Tomlin.
You didn't hear that for John Harbaugh either. Nobody expected that. There was some late season grumblings and this and that, but John Harbaugh has had a pretty good career. Super Bowl win, lots of big games, playoffs almost every year. It's a little surprising, but maybe you're right. Maybe Pittsburgh with the loss would still bring Tomlin back. But I think that there could have been some serious grumblings. I know Steeler fans would have been all over them about getting rid of him. So we'll see.
Listen, Steeler fans, my God, we know a couple of them.
What
could be said about Steeler fans? Stop fucking complaining, guys, please.
Yeah.
You're in the fucking mix for the Super Bowl every year for how many fucking decades, and you just fucking complain. God damn.
So let's go Pittsburgh, Houston. This game is in Pittsburgh. While I think Houston's got the better defense, and they're probably the best unit on the field, I think Tomlin and the Steelers will find a way to win this game at home. But it would not shock me. But I'm going to take Pittsburgh in this game. I think Pittsburgh finds a way to win this game and then get bounced out of the playoffs.
Oh, listen, you do have Aaron Rodgers, so let's see what happens and what he can do for them.
Yep. All right. So that's our picks for that. I want to ask you real quick. What did you think of Phillip Rivers coming back and playing a few games at quarterback and not being an absolute joke?
It was surprising and good for him, man. Just goes to show you that if you keep yourself in check, that you could win and you could play at a high level still. But I think he's done.
Oh no, it's obviously this was a one-time thing, and it was a fun story in an NFL season. So we'll put that in there.
Tom, I got to take a quick leak. Keep going for a minute, please.
Sure, go ahead. And then when Jeff comes back, we'll do the dead list and call it a night. I really do appreciate everybody jumping in with us tonight and being part of the show. It means a lot to me every week when I get to share this. Sorry. Oh. But yeah, again, it's an interesting playoff. I love this. I mean, tonight football, tomorrow college football, 6 football games this weekend. The next couple weeks are just fantastic with football as it winds down for the season, and we get ready for the baseball season. And I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what to expect from either New York team. I still think it's a little early. I think you're going to see a little bit of a run by both teams. There is a thought in my head that the Mets don't make any big moves. I mean, I'm trying to think what they could do at this point. Maybe they throw a big number at Bellinger. I don't know. For the Yankees, I'm almost getting the feeling that it's Bellinger or we're going with Dominguez or Spencer Jones or somebody like that. They may sign a couple of low-level free agents. I don't know. But it's been very quiet for both teams. And you're not even hearing, I haven't heard, and I listen a lot, read every day. I have not even heard much speculation at this point. I know the Yankees made an offer to Bellinger. He must have either got a counter or asked for a counter offer, and supposedly the Yankees are going to make another counter offer. Yeah, I don't know. Tucker's still out there, tells me a little something. Maybe he's asking for too much. I don't know the answer. Do the Yankees break off of Bellinger if it falls apart and run to Tucker? It's possible. Tucker's out there. Surprisingly, I think Tucker, his money, his contract, I think is going to be based on Bellinger, and whether Bellinger doesn't go, Tucker winds up maybe. It's interesting. I agree. I'd rather have Bellinger. He gives you much more flexibility. The problem for Bellinger, Tucker's pretty steady. The problem for Bellinger is he's great or he's not good. That's the problem. I loved Bellinger and the flexibility he gives you. Can play first, all 3 outfield spots. He hit real well last year. He's good on the base paths. So I would rather have Bellinger myself. But can I settle for Tucker? Maybe. It's for some reason it's not as sexy to me as getting Bellinger back, but we'll see. So Jeff, it's that time of the show. We usually do this the last show of the previous year, and we've had to amend the list afterwards. This year, it's the first show of the year, and it's I'm turning it over to you and the infamous dead list. But let me ask you a question: do you feel the way I feel that this might be the most hit close to home list that we've ever had?
Yeah, only because of some of the people that died. But when I go through the whole list, there may be people over here that you're going to be like, who?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that like, I'm like, one, I didn't even know they were dead, or thought they were dead, and two, who are they?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people on this list. This is not the star-studded list that it was just a few years ago.
But,
oh no, no.
No, but when you throw in Ozzy Ace and Hulk Hogan, it might be the biggest list for us.
Well, yeah, for us, yeah. But when I'm talking about when there was one year when there were guys kicking off left and fucking right, man.
Oh no,
Holy shit.
yes, I agree with you. Yeah, yes.
You couldn't stop it. But all right, so this year I got I'm opening up the list with a wholesome person.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a porn star or anything of that nature. It was Mr. Wayne Osmond, Donnie Marie's older brother.
Yes.
He kicked the bucket. Peter Yarrow from Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh wow.
Has ceased to be. So has Sam Moore. You know who that is?
No, I do not.
He was he sang Soul Man with Sam and Dave.
Okay.
He is no more. David Lynch. I wrote something down next to his name and I can't read it. So I can't tell you who he was. He was a director or something. Bob Uecker.
Oh wow.
Has kicked the bucket.
Wow. I love Uecker.
Yeah, I think it was early last year.
Uecker is arguably one of the funniest people I've ever listened to in my entire life. I dare anybody to go on YouTube and see his Johnny Carson appearances and not think he's not one of the funniest human beings.
Garth Hudson from the band. Ready for that? Dick Button. You know who Dick Button is?
Dick Button was a skater, right?
Yeah.
I think he was an Olympic skater, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. I think he was kind of gay too.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
He's a figure skater, male. I'd have to go with you on that one.
Irv Gotti has bit the dust. Tony Roberts, not the motivational guy, but another Tony Roberts.
Is the actor Tony Roberts?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead.
Mabel Staton. Right, yeah, Staton. First black female track and field star. Or I shouldn't say first black. A black track and field star, only woman to compete for the U.S. in the Helsinki Olympics back in 1952.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Clint Hill, Secret Service agent who leapt on JFK's limousine.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he is now gone. Roberta Flack hit 88 and hit the gate, and out she goes. Wow. Michelle Trachtenberg, Angie Stone, R&B singer. Lincoln Diaz, nephew of Lincoln Diaz was the nephew of Fidel Castro. He is gone too. Stood against Fidel, by the way.
Okay.
Paul Dean. Do you know who that was?
Carl Dean.
Yeah.
No.
Paul Dean was one of the only people on the planet to know if Dolly Parton took it in the third hole.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Dolly Parton's husband. So,
yes, wow.
Carl Dean might have gone into the back cave. We don't know. Roy Ayers, jazz musician. Robert G. Clark, Mississippi's first black lawmaker. Dwayne Wiggins, co-founder of the R&B group Tony Tone. I know that you're very upset about that one, ain't you?
That one hit close to home, Jeff.
Yeah. Junior something. He was a baseball player. I can't read his last name. Alan Simpson, former U.S. Senator at 93 years old. Eddie Jordan owned a Formula One racing team. George Foreman, 76 years old, boxer.
God, that's a tough one too. I mean,
we got to talk to him. Yeah,
one of the nicest guests we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Called me from the dentist chair to book the show.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, man. Great guy, man.
What a great guy.
Kitty Dukakis, wife of Michael Dukakis.
Used to drink. Wasn't she the one who used to drink like rubbing alcohol or something? She was such a drunk.
I don't know, but she Dukakis. We can have so much fun with that, right?
Yes.
Richard Chamberlain, 90 years old, actor Richard Chamberlain, king of the miniseries, Thornbirds, Shogun, More importantly, and if you didn't realize, gay.
Huh? Okay, that's important, I guess.
Well, it was when he died. They made mention of it, so I have to take the important stuff.
How you do?
Val Kilmer.
Oh yes, yeah. Val
Yeah.
Kilmer.
Yes. Goose. Not Goose. Not Maverick. What was his name? Ice or something.
Iceman.
Iceman. He is on ice, man.
Tom Kaczynski.
Yeah.
Yep.
Theodore McCarrick.
Did you watch? Are you a fan of the original Top Gun movie?
I've seen it. Yes.
Did you see the updated version? One of his last roles.
No, I did not.
Actually, a pretty good sequel. I would have to tell you, there's not a lot of good sequels.
Well, they had almost 40 years between sequels to get it right.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying it wasn't terrible. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that 40 years between sequels, you better get it right.
Very true.
Theodore McCarrick, former Cardinal, defrocked by Pope Francis, kitty toucher.
Okay.
Jay North, speaking of kids, the original
Dennis the Menace.
Dennis the Menace. Clem Burke, drummer of Blondie, and Elvis Ramone from the Ramones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, played only 2 shows, I believe, with the Ramones. Here was one that I found interesting. I remember him as a player. Did not know that he died. Octavio Dutel.
Oh, yes. Former Met. Octavio Dutel. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Did not know he died.
Wink Martindale was used to host Gambit, Tic-Tac-Toe, and was one of the first ones to do a TV interview with Elvis.
Oh, really?
Interesting fact, yeah.
Yes, I did. You know what? I did hear that too. Yes, Wink. I love Wink. What a good guy. Good guitar player.
Yeah. Steve Mongo McMichael from the Four Horsemen and the Chicago Bears died, unfortunately. It looks like he suffered like a motherfucker too.
Oh, he did. Yeah, what a shame. Yeah. Oh.
Dick Barrett. I'm going to go with Mr. and Mrs. Barrett's son. I forget what he was or what he did, but he's on the list.
Oh, Dutel got killed in that roof collapse in Dominican. Okay. All right.
Ruth Buzzy, 88 years old. Remember Ruth Buzzy?
Sure, Ruth Buzzy. I'm more famous for me for the D. Martin roasts.
Yes, of course.
Came out as that character.
Yes, the old lady.
Yes, but was a very young woman at the time. But go ahead.
Jill Sobel, singer, died in a house fire.
Okay.
David H. Stouter, retired Supreme Court Justice. Johnny Rodriguez was a Mexican-American singer. Robert Benton was the director for Kramer versus Kramer. George Wendt at 76 years old.
Norm.
Yep. Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty.
Yes. Okay.
Charles Rangel, New York congressman. Who cares?
Yep.
Bernie Kirk, 69 years old.
Bernie Kirk, my first commissioner of Department of Corrections when I was a correction officer.
Loretta Swit, who died at 87.
Yeah, listen, I loved her on the show, but they made her out to be this beauty. I never saw it, but okay.
When you're living in a tent in North Korea under fucking enemy fire, she was pretty hot.
I guess so.
Green army pants.
I guess so.
Jim Marshall, NFL player, 87 years old.
Ran the wrong way.
Yeah. Sly Stone from Sly and the Family Stone has ceased to be. Nanda Lewis, one of the VJs from MTV, died of cancer. Ann Burrell, TV chef, died. Bobby Sherman, Bobby Sherman?
Bobby Sherman was a singer back in like the 50s or something, right?
Late 60s, early 70s. Easy Come, Easy Go.
Yeah.
You heard some of his songs. He died at 81 years old.
Nice.
Did not know he was that old. Sorry, man. Carolyn McCarthy was a New York senator, I believe, was a Democratic New York senator. She had something to do with gun control. Her husband or her son got shot. Something, a sad story, but that was her claim to fame.
Okay.
D. Wayne Lucas from Horse Racing Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, we turn the page, and we end up on the top with Jimmy Swaggart.
wow.
No need to say there.
Yeah.
Alex DeVecchio, a Hockey Hall of Famer with the Red Wings. Michael Madison, 67, actor. Connie Francis, 87, singer. Alan Bergman, Oscar-winning lyrics. Was NASCAR's oldest champ. And wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. Alan Bergman, 99, Oscar-winning lyrics. He was a writer, songwriter, won an Oscar.
Right.
Ray White, NASCAR's oldest living champ.
Okay.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah, tough. Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck Mangione. I think that Chuck Mangione seems to die every year. I could have remembered doing him a while ago.
He disappeared from the spotlight. Yeah.
Dwight Muhammad Quaid. Do you remember that name from boxing?
Sure, I do. Sure. Yeah.
72 years old, learned boxing in prison. Old? Was a 2-time world champ. Yeah. Well, you got to remember, dude, we're pushing 60, and there he is. You know?
No, you're right. You don't think of it that way, but yeah, he was, 80s, right? Yeah,
80s,
yeah.
Ryan Sandberg, baseball player.
Oh yeah, great player.
Said his death.
Yep.
Lonnie Anderson. Raise your hand if you did not use Miss Anderson for nefarious reasons back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody raising their hand there, right?
One of the only reasons to tune into that show. Oh boy.
Yeah. James Lowell, Apollo 13 commander.
Oh yeah. Portrayed by Tom Hanks in the movie Apollo 13. Yeah.
William H. Webster, FBI director from 1978 to 1987, was CIA director from 1987 to 1991. Lost track of him after that. We don't know what he did. Tristan Roberts from General Hospital.
Oh yeah, Scorpio, Robert Scorpio, sure.
Ron Turcotte, Hall of Fame jockey, rode Secretariat.
Yes, I was going to say that's his claim to fame. He rode the greatest racehorse of all time.
Yeah.
I think he got hurt after that. Like I think for some reason he got paralyzed. I have to look that up. Okay,
I don't know. Graham Greene, 73 years old, from Dances with Wolves. He was Kicking Bird. That was his Indian name. Evidently, he was an Indian.
Never saw the movie.
What's that?
Never saw the movie.
I had the unfortunate of once. Polly Holiday.
Flo.
Yes, from Kiss My Grits. Yes. From Alice.
Wow, how old was she? Did you have that written?
88.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was still alive. Wow.
Well, she's not anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing about whether we remember or not, the people that are on this list are not making this list next year.
That's very true.
That's for sure.
One time only.
One and done, right? Bobby Hant wrote The Last Train to Clarksville for the Monkees.
Okay.
Ricky Hatton, a boxer, he hung himself. Brett James, he did something. He was a songwriter. I don't know what he did. I can't read it. Sonny Curtis wrote I Fought the Law and sang and wrote the Mary Tyler Moore theme song.
Wow. Okay. Impressive.
Bernie, what's that?
It's impressive.
Yeah. Bernie Parent, goalie, Philadelphia Flyers.
Sure. Bernie Parent.
Joan Kennedy, 89 years old, wife of Eddie Kennedy. D'Angelo, R&B singer. Ace Frehley, 74, with Kiss. That one hurt a lot of people, bothered a lot of people.
That on this in this room right now, me and Frankie Catalano, that's that is childhood right there. Like Ace being around since my childhood, like 1975. I'm 8 years old, 9 years old. Ace Frehley's the man. I mean, that one really kicks in the nuts.
Yeah. Susan Stanberg, first woman to host national news program on the radio. Okay. Daniel I can't pronounce it. Some Russian guy, played chess. June Lockhart, 100 years old, was Lassie and Lost in Space.
Yes. And her
Diane Ladd.
Oh, okay.
James Watson. Do you know who James Watson is?
No idea.
He is the one that came up with the strand of the ladder of DNA.
Really?
Yeah. Paul Tagliabue.
Former commissioner.
Actress Sally Kirkland was in The Sting.
The movie The Sting. And the original MASH, the movie.
Okay, look at that. Jimmy Cliff, reggae star.
Okay.
Okay, and then we turn the page. Steve Cropper, guitar player for Booker T and the MGs. Raul Malo.
Also was the guitar player for the Blues Brothers band.
Okay, did not know that.
Steve the Colonel Cropper had the beard.
Okay.
I played alongside Matt Guitar Murphy. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Raul Malo, frontman of the band called the Mavericks. Anthony Geary, 78 years old. Here's another one that's going to hit hard, whether you admit it or not, but Gil Gerard for Buck Rogers.
Yes.
For me, it wasn't Gil Gerard. It was Erin Gray that caught my attention on Buck Rogers.
Yeah, I know, that was kind of like late morning, very early afternoon on a Saturday. That was always on. And I never was around to watch. I did all my cartoons. The last one I would watch was Shazam. And then Gil Gerard came on with Buck Rogers after that, and I was gone out of the house at that point.
You know, I remember when he was on TV on Channel 4, they had the robot, and he was like, gimme, that stupid fucking noise he made. But Erin Gray used to come out with the spandex outfit. That was enough for me. Yeah, that was more important than whatever Gil Rogers was doing. Gil Gerard,
Jeff was excusing himself to the shower.
Yeah. Another one, Mom, gotta go.
Mom, I got a shower at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Peter Arnett, 91, war reporter. He reported everywhere from Vietnam to Iraq. Greg Biffle, NASCAR driver.
Yes.
Betty Reed. She did something. Okay. Betty Reed Soskin, 104 years old, oldest National Park Service ranger.
Wow.
You're working for the Parks Department. I can tell you it was really no big fucking deal.
Hey, Frank Catalano, that's a tough one. Both Robert Scorpio and Luke die in the same year. Luke Spencer died in the same year. And that one of the big, in the 80s, Diana marrying Prince Charles and Luke and Laura get married. Two of the biggest weddings of that my life. But
God, it monopolized everything for the fucking summer. Remember that bullshit?
Absolutely. When I was in 8th grade, every girl that I went to school with watched that show, and every guy in my class went home and watched it so they could talk to the girls about it. So I watched all of that. I watched, and do you know who? We mentioned Tristan Rogers before, and he passed. He was Robert Scorpio, I believe, was the commissioner of that town. Do you know who his girlfriend on the show was? Demi Moore.
Oh, okay. All right. Not bad. He didn't do so bad for himself.
Nope.
Demi's still alive.
She is still kicking.
Is she?
Yep.
So then we got the Black Bart. I don't know who that is. He was on the list. Colonel De Beers. That was a wrestler. Do you remember Colonel De Beers?
I do not remember Colonel De Beers.
Bill Mercer, a broadcaster. Oh, these are all wrestlers.
Oh, Bill
Black
Mercer
Bart was a wrestler. Sabu, or however you pronounce his name. Yes. It was a wrestler from ECW.
Okay.
Mo, wrestler Mo. He used to partner with Mabel, who later on in life became Viscera in the WWE. Bob Caudle, wrestling broadcaster. Paul Marino Day or Paul Morrow Day was the former Iron Maiden singer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Brent Hines from Mastodon. Alex Rossi was the drummer for Ministry. Russ North from the band Cloven Hoof. Brian Wilson from the
Beach
Boys. Marianne Faithfull, who was a singer from the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
A lot of different things. David Johansen.
Wow.
Yeah, he's gone. Rick Derringer.
Okay.
Now we got to skip around a little bit. There was one that I just put on the list. I can't remember that. I didn't get him on the list. Frederick Lindgren was in a band called That Looks Like Unleashed. Colburn Fair from Annihilator. My writing is so bad, man. My God. I can't even read it. Les Binks from Judas Priest.
Oh, wow.
Brian Montana from Possessed. Kevin Skids Riddles from Angel Witch. Tomas Lindbergh from At the Gates. Jody Henry from Omen. Thomas Klein from Warrant. I don't even know who the fuck he was.
I heard that one, yep.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. But now we get to the last ones. I kept these three separate for a reason.
Yep. Go ahead.
So I would like to start off number one with Robert Redford, Bobby Redford. You know who he
Yep.
was?
Sure.
Well,
Natural.
Now, Grandpa got some because Grandma would watch some of Robert Redford's movies and
There you
couldn't
go.
contain herself.
There you go.
Okay, and then number two on the list, which was exceptionally sad, was Hulk Hogan,
Oof.
wrestler Hulk Hogan. I feel as though that when you look at Hulk Hogan and all the time we invested with him, it was like part of us went with him.
I have to tell you, he will be one of those guys. When you go back and somebody says, "What was the '80s like?" Hulk Hogan for me will always be that thing that jumps out off the page. Hulk Hogan represents my teenage years. Again, it was such a big part of what we did as friends, watching wrestling on TV, talking about it. You're getting together on a Sunday morning going, "Did you see last night? Did you watch?" It's just so big of what we grew up with in those years that it's impossible for me. Ozzy's right there. To me, it's either one. But those two probably hurt the most. Ace is, Eve right there also. But boy, Hulk Hogan really threw me for a loop this year.
Yeah, it sucked. And listen, sorry for Hulk Hogan, but I got to tell you, Hulk, you spent all your years eating those vitamins, saying your prayers and everything else. And Ozzy drank alcohol and did drugs and abused himself and lived almost as long as you.
Yeah, really.
Lived longer than you, actually.
Wow.
And that brings us to the last one on the list, which for me is very sad and for everybody. If it wasn't for this man and everything that he did, the music that we all like and love and listen to on a daily basis, probably would not be the same as what it is now. But that is Ozzy Osbourne, a man
no doubt.
that what could be said about Ozzy and his exploits with Black Sabbath and the Osbournes and his solo career and everything else.
I mean, think about how impactful in pop culture alone with the Osbournes and the biting the head off the bats. But to me, singularly, the most important heavy metal figure of all time. His time at Sabbath, obviously, basically broadening the genre, but also his solo time, two of the most iconic albums of all time. Ozzy to me is the singular most important factor in heavy metal, making it what it was or even as it is today. I know Sabbath guys are all there, and there's no doubt. But Ozzy, because of his solo stuff, to me, just jumps off the page. That's amazing.
Listen, without Sabbath, there is no obvious Ozzy solo stuff, without a doubt.
I agree.
And,
but
we gotta remember these guys for what they are and what they were to us, and how we feel about them, because they're not going to be here forever. And a lot of these guys are getting older now, and it is a shame, but it is what it is.
Yep. I feel the same way, and it's a very sad year. I mean, I'm glad I got to see Ozzy at the last concert. Not that I would want to remember him that way, but it was great to watch. What basically turned out to be a Ozzy Osbourne tribute right in front of him. Unfortunately, passed away shortly thereafter. Hulk Hogan, and I can't say enough how. And I can't believe. I haven't been on there in a while, but I can't believe Peacock no longer has the WWF shit. It's now on Netflix. That's fucking sucks. I gotta tell you, that blows.
It's where the money is, bro. It's where the money is.
Yeah. I just watched stuff not too long ago on Peacock. I watched a bunch of Saturday Night Main Events that were on. I just watched the very first Saturday Night Main Event.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great to watch. But of course, Ace. I mean, it's just I think it'll hit me harder than Gene, because Gene's been another guy whose pop culture has jumped off the page. But there's no doubt Ozzy's a killer. Ozzy was a killer this year. That was a tough one.
Yeah, listen, man. It's a shame. It is what it is, But it is a shame that these guys are no longer here. What more could be said? It's
Yep.
My God, it is what it is.
But I will say this, Jeff. It was probably the biggest list that you've had where I would say 60% of the people you named, I had no idea who they were.
Yeah, I felt the same way, man. I really did.
Yeah.
This was a weird list. A lot of names that I never thought of. And when I say that it was a slow year, not that you want people to die, but there's a lot of people that we didn't know. And is it because a lot of people that we knew didn't die, or was it because a lot of people we already know that we followed and loved died? And they're no longer here. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm not sure how to play it out. Again, don't wish the death on anybody. We just kind of like to talk about these people. It's a kind of way of honoring them, and kind of having a last conversation about some of them. Obviously, Hulk Hogan and Ozzy and Ace, and some of them will come up forever on this show as long as we're doing it, because they're very impactful in our lives and what we do here and what we've done. So, but
and you don't even realize that we left out one guy that I have to, and then you just gave me the perfect segue into it, that I have to, and that is, we said we were going to do it, and I'm doing it, and this is for the half man. Okay, and why do I want to do the half man? We have to do the half man.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Raiders are picking first in the draft this year.
Yeah.
And he might be up there. Hey, do you have any idea who they're gonna take? And probably following somebody around that does record keeping or some shit up there. And they may be like, would you get the fuck out of here? And he's like, but I need to know, please. Who are they gonna take? And they're like, don't worry about it. Are they going to get a quarterback? And then they say, no. And,
you gotta love. I miss the half man. I miss your legendary. I mean, as fun as you and Frankie are, there is nothing like the old days of going, shut up, fat man.
Yeah. He was funny at times. I mean, listen. You got to give him what you got to give him, without a doubt.
Absolutely. What a genuine human being. There was nothing hidden about Dominic. There was nothing. He was exactly who you saw. He was a good-hearted human being who would give you the shirt off his back. You wouldn't want it because it would expose the rest of his body, so you don't want the shirt off his back.
I mean, I was trying so hard not to say that, for obvious reasons. Yeah. And then there you come and just bury the fucking guy. Man.
I got it, because that's what we did with him. He would not respect us if we didn't. That's just who it was. I would see him, he would rip us apart, and I'd see him the next day at a function, and he would come up and give me a hug and go, that was fucking great. That was great the other night. And that's just who he was. And he was the greatest fan of his teams. He was a devout Yankee and Raider fan, tattooing it all over his body. He just had his demons, and they took him. He just couldn't get rid of them, and that's so unfortunate. He was a good soul, and I hope he's finally at peace and got the love he deserved. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I hear you. It is a shame when you think of somebody like him, and I didn't know him like you knew him, but I knew him from the show, and he took some fucking abuse, man. Oh my God, it was great.
Yes,
it really was. The shit that we used to do to him.
The two best parts of this show ever, outside of some of the guests we've had, we've been lucky, was him falling asleep on the air, but him in the football helmet was still, to this day, the absolute funniest thing I've ever seen. When he showed up on the air, drunk off his face with the Raider helmet on, I don't think there was a funnier time in my life. I laughed so hard, I nearly passed out. I blacked out for a second.
Yeah, listen, he definitely, without a doubt, came up with some great ones. My personal favorite is we used to hit him with the butt pirate.
Oh, yes,
and it was so hysterical because he would catch it, but he didn't catch it, and he'd be like, and then you hear "Go Butt Pirates," and he'd be like, listen, like what was that? and he wouldn't catch it, and it was just incredible stuff.
Yeah, and that's just what it was. And I would get a text message, hit him with the butt pirate, hit him with the butt pirate. And he'd be in the middle of this. He hit 265 and they were like this brief pause right where he said, "Did I just hear that?" And,
yep, great stuff.
Yeah, I missed out. He's one of those people that I will always miss, and I will. My wife always says this: the one person that I bent over backwards, I literally said, "Dom, come live with us. Just come stay with us and get healthy, and enjoy your life." And I tried everything in my power, and it just never happened.
Listen, you didn't fail.
No,
he just didn't accept.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a failure, but he's one of the few people in my life that I would have made that request because I knew he was fixable, or I thought he was. I thought we could get him back to being himself. And it was just, I guess he just didn't want it. And listen, I have no regrets. I gave him every opportunity, and I truly, I like the guy a lot. He was just good people, and it's just a shame that he honestly felt like he wasn't loved. And not to bring the show down, he just never felt that. And I think that's a shame because he's a good dude. But
yeah,
I do miss that. I do miss the half man, Jeff. So. But he will live on the show.
Is this 3 years or 4 years for him now?
I think it's 4. I mean, it was definitely. I've been here almost 2.5, and he died. I was still living in the old house, so I think it's close to 4 years. I think April will be 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's at least 3. This April will be at least 3, if not 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, seems. Well, I would say it's 3 years. I know why, because I bought him a shirt he was supposed to come to my parents' house for Christmas, and I bought him a Yankee shirt to open as a gift. I didn't want him to be there with no gift to open.
Yeah.
And he never came. And when I bought the shirt, it barely fit me. It was so tight. And now I wear.
What was it for? Kids medium?
No, it was actually like a double X or something. It was a little cut tight, but it was like I was straining. Now wearing it's like a big hanging shirt on me now. But so I know it was right around when I started my diet, which is close to 3 years ago. So
show off.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I do miss him, and he will always elicit a huge smile from the two of us. So I would say at the very least, Dom, you'll be always well thought of here with both of us.
Yeah. Yes, he will.
We're way over time, but we're making up for 3 weeks off. I want to thank everybody who tuned in to listen tonight, and all those people who are chiming in off the air. Thank you guys all so much. We're back. We got a lot of football coming up in the next month, and we should be pretty steady along the way. So thank you all, Frankie Katz and everybody else for tuning in, Will Cloak and everybody else. Thank you all. I appreciate you doing this. And Jeff, as usual, thank you for being part of this, and I look forward to another year of Hard Rockin' Sports.
Same here, man, and hopefully next week my laptop works, so I don't have to cook my brand new iPad.
Let's see how it works out, but I hope so too. But in the meantime, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. So I'll say thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being part of the Hard Rockin' Sports Show in the year and our next year of being on the air. We look forward to that. So, guys, have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. Enjoy your football, and we'll see you back here next Thursday night when Jeff and I get together to do it all over again. So for Jeff Delwinski, myself, and everybody at the Hard Rockin' Sports Show, we'll see you next week. Hefe, I'll talk to you off the air.
You got it, man. Be good, bro. Later. Fuck the Broncos.
Get ready. Get ready.